Welcome to the Outer Realm with Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano. Airing live on the United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM in New Orleans.
Since I could hold my head up high, and it's been a while since I first saw you. And it's been a while since I can stand on my own 2 feet again. And it's been a while since I could call you. Everything I can remember, how bad it always seems. The consequences that are rendered, I stretch myself beyond my means. It's been a while since I could say that I wasn't addicted, and it's been a while since I couldn't say I love myself as well. And it's been a while since I've gone things up just like I always do. And it's been a while, but all that seems to disappear when I'm with you. And everything I can't remember, a past it always seems. The consequences that I've rendered, gonna things up again.
I think you say going and fuck things up again. I'm not sure there. Just in case you kiddies out there didn't know, because I'm not. This is like quadruple already.
Just make this go.
Is this one of those songs with the parental advisory on it?
This is he made a lot of money on this song.
Yeah.
And for the time. Hey, Heidi, how you doing? For the time, it wasn't a bad song. It's kind of a little played now. And, I guess maybe with Trump comes back, it might have some relevance.
It's been a while
Because it's been a while since we had Trump. So.
Yeah. It's been a while since we had.
I guess you could look at it like that. It is stretching and stuff, but
I'm sorry. It's been a while since
He's not a big singer. I like it. I mean, I actually like the song. It's good song. You don't usually start off with something that's low tempo for the
but I can still remember just the way you take.
This does last me back in my 20s and 30s. I was well more behaved by the time I hit 40. Sort of. Kind of. Something like that. I don't know. Kind of like the title. Where the infant eats the demented. I guess Mike's going to eat the demented. It's been a while since I could hold my head up high. As long as it don't get us banned again.
Yeah. No more Metallica. We know that much.
Yes, guys, girls, you won't be hearing any more Metallica on this network, at least not when we're live, because we got pretty well probed last night. They were like, haha, guess what? You can't play. And then they were like letting us go up and down. It was real. So we just said to hell with it and ended those streams and sent everybody to Rumble. We're not against YouTube or anything. It's just, that last night was a particular problem. I've never had them do that on a song from, but usually it's at the end of the song, at the end of the archive. They just say, okay, it doesn't play in these countries. But I guess now it's not the way it's going to be. Remember, guys and girls, you can get us on 2 Rumble accounts, 2 YouTube accounts, even though if you can find us on guys, UFOs, and extraterrestrials, good luck with that. I mean, nobody can. We know they exist. We know they have followers there. We know they even got a pretty good, decent listening core now. But for some reason, the title just is not searchable. UFOs, gods, and extraterrestrials. I guess it's too many things that compete.
Well, there's, in the defense of the name, there's a lot of pages with UFOs, a lot of pages with gods. And some are having all three because those topics tend to go together.
No, Mark, I'm not sequestered. I'm getting my camera. Come on in just a minute. Yeah, back home where I belong. Private jet flew me in, beyond first class. I mean, even my dogs got caviar, man. I mean, they were in heaven.
Oh wow!
They were like
hey,
treated like royalty the whole time. Anytime you're doing these kind of things, you're a little leery on how this is going to go. But they told me because I was so cooperative last time that I'm on whatever list they have now. So when I travel with them, it's always going to be good. Well, first time they flew me business class, I'm not bitching, and they flew me business class. Delta was very comfortable. Had those little cubicles. It was very nice. And this time it was me, my wife, and the 2 dogs. And so they sent a private jet. I was like, "You're shitting me right now." So I'm thinking some little crappy, Cessna.
What do they send it there and called you and said, "Hey, there's a jet waiting for you"? Or do they say, "Hey, there's a jet on the way. You need to be here at this time"?
They said there'll be a car at your house at this time, and the jet will be waiting for you here. And then instead of flying, so then I told the guy while we were flying, I said, "No, I actually live in Mississippi." He said, "Oh, so you'd rather land at Biloxi?" I said, "Yes." So he said, "Screw New Orleans," and flew into Biloxi. And I mean, dude, when I say first class, it's seriously first class. I really was expecting some little crappy Lear 52 or something. They're nice, but they're not really. No, hell no. This thing was nice. I don't know who this plane belonged to, but they had some cha-ching, and some cha-ching, man. Anyway, the hotel was nice. Still can't tell you what hotel I stayed at. Don't ask me why. I had to sign all kinds of non-disclosure agreements. They got into some pretty serious questions this time around. I mean, they did first time around, but they really didn't know what to expect from me. Now they kind of had an idea what to expect, so they got into some serious questions. Scared the living shit out of them about 5 times, maybe 6. Scared myself once or twice. Because some of this stuff you push back in the back of your head. You put it in the deep, dark recesses of your head. And it's stop that. That's too much.
I'm out.
Jason, I'm not in this, man. Leave me out of this conversation. Let's remove this so we can go back to big screen. Let me put my lovely face on since I'm in the studio and chilling. Yeah.
You're back safe. Everything's good.
Yeah, I was just telling him, to Lear, man, look, my dogs were eating caviar, dude. So nice. It wasn't even Lear. I don't know what the hell it was. It was nice.
Well, if it wasn't Lear, it was probably Gulfstream.
I was waiting for the people to come out the back to give the massage and stuff. I was like, wow. And I was telling him, I was talking to the pilot, came in, he was sitting there talking to me, we were having a drink, literally having a cocktail. And he says, where you live? And I told him, I said, well, I live in, on the coast. Oh, he's like, would you rather me fly you to Biloxi? I was like, sure. So he just skipped New Orleans and flew up here, which was really cool of him. It didn't matter. Because they had a car waiting for me in New Orleans. So I had to call them and have a car arranged to wait for me at the airport up here. I mean, dude, these people, I don't know who the fuck these people are, but who, man.
Men in black carting you around.
Yeah, they
probably probed you on the way. You don't even know, man. They gave you some.
Look, if they did, it was a friendly kind of probe.
They gave you some date rape drug, and that's it.
Well, I heard a rumor that MIB doesn't mean Men in Black. It means Mars Investigative Bureau, and that's
Maybe it
probably
does. I don't know. They
snatched him straight back to Mars.
it was very surreal. The questioning was very surreal. I knew it was going to double up on some things because I speak very matter of factly. So, and last time I was on a polygraph, so when they were asking me questions, he's like, so you're okay with the polygraph again? I'm like, sure, man, hook me up. He said, we got somebody here that does body. I said, yeah, bring whoever you want in. And I'm sitting there like this, just like I am right now, kind of cockeyed, sideways, all cocky looking. And the guy who's doing the body language thing looks at him, he said, I can look at the guy now and tell you he don't plan on lying to you. And the guy from the Pentagon looks at him and goes, really? He's like, yeah, dude. He said, this dude is confident. He said, there's no doubt he's going to tell you what he thinks is the truth. He said, and as it went on, the first day, because today was just a little short thing. Yesterday was pretty long, but it was just so funny because they ask questions and I give them the answer, and then they look at everybody like it can't be true. They're waiting for like me, the buzzer to go off on a polygraph machine, or the guy doing the body language say, "Oh, look, he's lying," but they're not. Every time they look at him, they're like, "No, he's good, man. He's good." And I'm telling you, it's so funny because a couple of times you hear him say like, this dude needs a job in Congress, man. Yeah, he's in the wrong profession.
Yeah.
And the guy said, he's stone cold. I was like, dude, you bring me here. I just said, this is what I've been doing for 40 years. And I said, at least this is a friendly atmosphere. I said, I've been harassed by probably people who worked for y'all in the past. And the thing didn't move. He said, you really believe that? I said, it was somebody who worked for the government. I said, they knew entirely too much about me not to have some kind of connection to the government. But I mean, they were really cool, and it was probably, I don't know, 100 and something questions, give or take, some stupid shit that went on. And dude, I'm telling you, these people in the military, their faces were like just stone. You could tell it was just whatever was saying. It was taking them so deep because they were just getting pissed because the whole time they're thinking, you could see it in their face. And why the fuck didn't I know about this? How does he
Are
know?
you in trouble, man? Do we have to smuggle you out of here?
Yeah.
I'm good.
You gotta call ICE.
I got friends abroad, man. We can gun.
So on their listy thing, I'm considered a friendly witness. Like I'm friendly press for writers of the future. I'm considered a friendly witness. Somebody who wants them to know the truth, which I do. I mean, I've always said. I mean, the whole time I've been doing this, I have no problem working with the government as long as they don't ask me for the names of the contactees. I don't have a problem with it, and they don't. They're not interested. They just want to know what I know about what's going on.
And if they are doing my labs, directly after any alien,
that's what I told them. Jay. I don't think
we have most of those people on the list anyway. So
that's true too.
Confidential or not, they probably already got those names. So
they got a lot of them. I have no doubt about that. But the ones that see, that's the thing. I always tell people this when they come to me. I say, look, remember, once you go public, there's no taking it back.
Yeah.
And if you say something publicly that may tweak somebody who does mill labs, you may get taken.
Yeah, it's like ringing a bell. Once you hit the bell, you can't stop it from making
noise.
You
say, oh well, I've flown a spaceship. Oh well, shit, we got interest in you. Oh, I've seen a reactor. Oh, we got interest in you. Yeah. So you're going to get taken. So I tell people, just don't talk to that stuff. Except for maybe a handful of people that you really can trust.
Yeah, and then make sure they don't tell anybody else.
Yeah, make sure they don't tell anybody else. I mean, it's because, and that's what the guy goes. He said, "How many secrets do you have in your head?" I said, "Just about my kids, probably 500,000." He starts laughing. He said, "No, about this." He said, "I said, dude, I'm actually starting to lose them. I said, I've been doing this for so long. I said, some of the new stuff is starting to push some of the old stuff away." He's like, "Really?" I said, "There's a lot." And I said, "It bothers me that my government doesn't know what is going on." That's just how I said it. I actually used the word. That's like, I said, "What the fuck?"
Isn't that normal though? I mean, that's normal. Like,
well, when you look, because when you look, like when I told you last time when the guy told me, "Oh, I hate you because you made me have to rethink my life." Well, these guys, and one of the like two or three of the military guys were there before were there this time, and they were like, you could see they were pissed. They don't even understand how it was being held from. They know someone has to know because there's no way someone like me can have as much information as I do, and not someone else in the military or some
Give me
covert.
my name, man. I'll tell them some shit.
No, they probably already know.
I'll tell them
Like
some shit.
if you know me, they already know you. They probably been to your house, probed. You probably
But
probed
that guy
your
can tell us some
possum,
shit.
everything
I'll
else.
talk to him. Because I'll tell them some shit. You know what? Good. Screw them, man. I was
I
in the
think
club
I
business
think
in
I think
East
they
New
just
York. You think I'd never encountered aliens?
yeah, all kind of like I do, all kind of illegal ones. It's
No, I'm saying the club business, man. Sometimes you see people that don't look like they're people, and they're right up to the VIP
Hey
room,
Gary Lynn, how you doing?
and nobody
Look,
even approaches them or talks to them, and that type of thing. You know what I'm saying?
I have run across some scary SOBs out there, but this kind of stuff, So the guy's like, he said we're gonna break for dinner. Okay, I'm like, cool. This is actually lunch. And he said, "What you want?" I said, "I want steak." He said, "Okay." He said, "I'm bringing steak, but you look like you used the energy." I said, "No, I'm fine." And so we're just sitting there. Right? I'm still hooked up to the machine, but we were just sitting there. Everybody else is kind of leaving. He said, "Really? Is all that stuff you said true?" I said, "Of course it is." And he looks over at the meter because it's still running. He's like, "Son of a bitch! I thought I'd catch you off guard." I said, "There is nothing to catch you off guard." I said, "I wouldn't be here lying to you, dude. I don't want to be found as fish food in some fish factory up north somewhere." Hello, it's Laura Lee. How you doing, Laura Lee?
Good. I'm getting messages. Are you not going on? Are you not going on? It's like, yeah, I'm coming.
No Metallica tonight, man.
Yeah,
no
no
Metallica.
Metallica.
No, Metallica is officially banned from the network. I'll have Michelle pass it along to all the rest of the hosts.
Yeah.
No even
Metallica.
humming their damn tunes. Screw them.
It's,
Anyway.
Stay on Metallica May.
That's right. No more Metallica. That's sad. We can't play Metallica.
Well, actually, Jay, I'm glad you sent me the link because normally I went into it says the chat. I went in there.
Yeah,
and there's nothing there.
We both, Joe and I both started making the studio simultaneously, not knowing the other one was working on it.
Yeah, anytime we're running late like that, it happens.
Oh shit, he beat me.
Because normally I don't need a link, right? I'll just pop in.
No,
Yeah,
no, not. No.
Hi, Karen. Hi, Heidi.
Once you're on the host list, you don't have to have a link. It's But anyway, it was an interesting trip. Like I said, they spoiled.
Oh, you're on camera. That's right. Sorry, I didn't mean.
Yeah, I'm home now. I'm home now, and I was telling them they spoiled us a boy. My damn dogs were eating caviar. They were like, yeah, we got our own chair and shit. She's like, I'm a rock star. She'd had some sunglasses on. She looked sexy. It's I mean, that any it's rough because man, this is how I live. I'm thinking to myself, Jesus, man, I definitely took the wrong road because I mean, anything you wanted, anything you asked for, anything you said, everything was instantly catered. The first time I was like chopped liver. Oh, you come to testify? Yes, I come to testify. Sit in that chair. Let's get some polygraphs. Let's have a hamburger for lunch for 5 minutes and get back to it. This time was a whole different thing. It was they definitely considered me a friendly witness now. Yeah, it did, but he said the private jet was because they wanted to break for Easter. Somebody forgot that this was Easter weekend when they set this up originally, and I kind of reminded them because I said, "Look, I'm in LA," and then they know the following week is Easter, and then oh no, so that's why I got lucky, got the private because they had to get me there and get me back, so they could go do whatever they were going to go do, which God only knows. We don't ask them what they're going to do. We just say, "Hey, nice meeting you." But
don't ask the guys flying around in a private jet what they're going to do next.
So I will say this, Jay. For us, anybody in the field, we have definitely made some friends. Definitely. I don't know if right now I feel like we know more than they do, but still,
oh, wow.
even so.
Well, I mean, you
I
and
think
I both
long run
over 40 years each. So I mean,
but that's what I'm saying. I think long run.
Who was I talking to the other day? I forget who. I was talking to. It might have been Diane. I don't remember. They asked me about my knowledge of UFOs, and I said, "Well, let me put it like this: I probably have forgotten more about what the ancient aliens people know right now. I have forgotten more about the whole subject than they currently know. That's how much I used to. I don't know it all. I mean, but a lot of times things would come up, and I go, "Oh, I remember that." Like the other night, Sean was showing some ghost pictures. And I'm like, "Oh, I've seen that one." So there are things I've seen, but I've forgotten.
There's a lot of knowledge on this channel. I mean,
yeah.
Look at look at Michelle DeRocha and Amelia, man. I mean, how many shows have they done that are just like really informative?
I didn't know we had it. Somebody named Michelle on the network. Who the hell is that?
Yeah.
Y'all effing with me, man.
We also have a qualified college professor, Professor Wham, on the Church of Mavis.
Oh, I know all crazy Professor Wham. That's a whole different thing, Miss Liberal.
You know what? But
I'm
entertained by it. I like watching the show. She always has good guests on, and it's always pretty cool, man.
Yes.
So, but there's knowledge. I mean, if you ask someone a question on this network, we're gonna have an answer. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, just
I don't know if that's a good thing or bad.
Like when I saw Joe on Ancient Aliens, you know, like you were the only one that really had credibility. The guy with the fucked up hair is just a. I mean, I know he's out there. George Tsoukalos.
Is that the guy that the hair stands straight up? I forget.
Yeah, but when I saw him going on and on about the Book of Enoch, I knew that the guy didn't know anything. You know what I mean? Like there's things that you know. I know that the Book of Enoch was written during the Second Temple period. It was fantasy writing. It had nothing to do. Enoch was just written about a couple of times in the Old Testament, and aside from Jesus, he was the only one who was ascended to heaven alive. You know what I mean? So but that's about it. Yeah, but people want to kind of make things big and bigger and bigger and bigger to kind of blow them up, but accept what's there. You know what I mean? And challenge it. You always have to challenge the past. If you don't, you're just falling into someone's trap.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, Jay. Sorry. Go ahead.
The problem with George Tsoukalos is, and to his credit, he's gotten the subject way further out into the universe than anyone else has. So, I mean, kudos to him for that. But he is merely a parrot. He really isn't a researcher. He was a book editor. I don't know. I guess in the 70s, 80s, 90s, something like that. That's where he came across Eric von Daniken's books, and then he met the man. And what he was basically doing was just translating the German version into French, English, Spanish, and then the languages that he speaks. And by doing that, he basically just keeps on spewing out the same things that are in those books and the other few things that he's read. I wouldn't call him a researcher.
Well, he's a television guy. He's a sensationalist. He wants to draw an audience.
He admits it. He says he's media. That's what he is.
Yeah.
You know, he's media with a little.
Bill Nye the Science Guy ain't no scientist. He's a math.
Exactly right. Yeah.
He's an actor. Well, what I was going to say, though, I think the difference between the people we have on our network, Michael, I have seen some of the most incredible paranormal photos you have taken before, especially when we were on the paranormal panel. And I haven't even shared this with you, Joe. I don't know what the heck's going on where I'm living, but I have caught these tiny, tiny, tiny little red lights, not planes, really high up, and they're not flying in very strange patterns. Now, I'm not saying they're alien or off world, but they don't belong there.
Maybe spying on you.
Well, that could possibly be too.
I think they're stalkers. They're like, there's a cute girl over here. You're gonna get the
no. Elon finds his wife. You know that, right?
You know they got those drone grants. They got to use the drones for something.
But I think
that's how he's finding his next wife.
I think people have experience on the network. And I was saying this to someone today. The reason why, and you see everybody and their dog doing the podcast now, right? And some people just aren't meant to be podcasting, but it's the big thing. And I think what it is, and I could be wrong, people are sick of watching lies on TV, including yourself. You were talking just about what's going on in Ancient Aliens. And I think they're looking for people with real experience, and they know, you can back it up. We back it up. If we bring up your pictures, or I was just talking to somebody, that's in our audience today, sending them some links and stuff. You can connect with people, and it feels more real, I think. And that's what people are looking for, I think.
There's only a few people aside from Joe that I know of that really knew what they were talking about.
I agree.
Bill Mars, right? Is that his name?
Jim Mars. Oh my God.
Jim Mars. I was on the show with you, and he was right in there. He was great. Yeah, anytime I've ever seen him, he was always right on. You get the feeling that people know what they're talking about when they are talking. Sometimes
there are a few guys out there that are legit researchers. We had the pleasure of interviewing Nick Redfern 6 years straight in a row every year for Halloween. He was our Halloween guest. He was our main star, and he was fantastic. He's not feeling real great right now. Hope the best for him. But this man dives into every aspect. He's not Stan Friedman was laser focused on UFOs and aliens. You know, most of your guys who investigate ghosts they focus on ghosts. You know, oh yeah, I've heard of a UFO thing, but they really focus on ghosts. Same thing with the Bigfoot guys and the cryptos. Very few people go all across. I've seen Bigfoot. I've seen UFOs. That's as far as my experiences go. And I've been
I'm going to have you on the show because I was just thinking, I don't mean to interject here, Jay, but I can tell you're very knowledgeable, but I have not had the chance to delve into your experiences. I want to hear more.
Anytime, yeah, just let me know. But
wait till after the baby is delivered. Let's not be stressing.
We still are waiting for the analysis from the probe there. But I have lost my train of thought. But
sorry.
That's okay. I've been researching since I was. I mean, I got interested in it when I was probably 6 when I first saw Eric Van Daniken's book, and then at the age of 11 is when I think it's the same year I saw both the movie. What is it? It was in the theater as Man, Myth, and Monsters. It's named something else now on IMDb, but Peter Graves of Mission Impossible fame narrated the movie, and it's all about cryptos. I mean, they may have one segment on aliens, but they have they go delve deep into the Gimlin film. Then that kind of really started the journey, and then that's the same year that I actually saw a real Bigfoot, and then it was like, all right, it's on. The Bigfoot started it, but prior to that, the precursor is the Hurricane Agnes made us read books because we didn't have any power for a month, so we got bored and started reading books. But I don't know where I was going with that knowledge, but that's where my history comes from. That's what I know.
But people being real
from book reading is and watching DVDs, and I've watched every UFO documentary at least twice. I have a library of DVDs, probably 9, 10, 12 at the most. And one of the ones I wanted to get, this research would have probably would have been the nail in the coffin. It's in the 90s. There was a movie coming out called UFOs Above Top Secret, and allegedly they were going to show the Eisenhower footage where the UFOs came and landed on Edwards Air Force Base. They got out and they talked with Eisenhower and the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and they come back, get back on the ship and fly away. Allegedly they had this footage and it was on that DVD, and I was working at a DVD store in Savannah, Georgia. So I knew it was coming out. I had pre-ordered it, and I knew that our shop was getting it that Tuesday night that I was off. I was off Tuesday night when the packages came. Wednesday night they were gonna put it on the shelves and it would be on sale. And those who bought it in pre-sale would have been able to pick it up. Well, 3 FBI men showed up at 10 o'clock when the store closed and confiscated every box with those movies in it.
Oh wow!
Yeah, with a warrant as well. And they did that across the country. And I think only 1 or 2 copies eluded them. But you'll never find it. You won't find it on YouTube or any of that footage. But that was one of the, I guess that's probably the halfway point for my investigation. And that's when I knew it was for real. When the government came and confiscated every box of a privately made documentary, I knew there was something on there they knew they couldn't let out.
Well, I was going to ask you, there's a new documentary. I was trying to remember the name of it. It was a show I was watching. You had to pay for it. And you guys remember that? Well, I know Joe's going to have he's going to tell us if it's real or not. And this guy he had got the footage. Remember when it came out leaked, they said from Area 51 and the alien was very sick and it died on camera. And the guy was all in cloak and dagger. Well, this guy has been obsessed with it and he put out a new documentary. He never really said what it was or not. Joe, do you remember that it leaked? It was, I think, in the 80s.
Oh, there was a couple of them that came out where they had the aliens. They had died. There was the original autopsy one. Then there was another.
Yeah.
One.
There's one.
Then there was another one where they just had it.
I'm trying to find the name of this. I'll find it.
There was one that they kept showing the alien it looked like it was sickly and it kept doing this. And then someone popped its head up. Is that the one you're talking about?
Well, he's obsessed, this guy. Apparently he used to be a car salesman and then he got into Congress. He ran for it. Yeah, I'm trying to find his name. I've got it in my phone here. I'll find it.
J-Rod had a pencil neck too, so it was kind of weird.
Put my glasses so I can see. I don't know where there they are, right in front of me. Yeah, but he was on I think it was Joe Rogan or something. So I thought, oh, this sounds interesting. So I wanted to see what he found. I really didn't find he found anything. And he had researched it for years. He had been threatened to drop it, to leave it. And the original guy apparently was in kind of cloak and dagger, and he had it was around the 80s, and he said he had lifted it from Area 51, and originally you just saw him in shadow, and I guess he was discovered who he really was. And
Bob Lazar.
no, it wasn't Bob Lazar.
No?
No, it
Oh,
wasn't.
okay. That's
No,
exactly how Bob Lazar came out too.
yeah, I'm trying to find his name in here. I know I have it. Darn, I will find it as we're talking. But and he had come out with a new documentary. He spent practically every penny. They tried to stop him. They tapped this guy's phones. They tapped everything he said. And it's the one where the alien, you can see it, the medical people come in, and it's very obvious he's very, very ill. It was a black and white film or piece, and he said it was from Area 51. The guy leaked it to the media.
Mm-hmm.
I'll find it. I will find it. Where are you in here?
Oh man, I'm in Mulder's office. All right.
Oh, wow.
You're going to start calling you Mulder now?
No, that's okay. He's a little weird.
No, he looks more like
issues,
Scully anyway.
And as he got older, he developed some. So he might have been.
Oh, that's cool. I like that cloud background. Was pretty.
Yeah,
cool.
that I had that one up for a little while. Yeah.
You know what?
That's
Use a lot of bandwidth. I find it uses a lot of bandwidth.
Coffee. Don't fuck with me while I'm drinking my coffee.
This is going to drive me nuts because I know I downloaded this I downloaded this movie.
We both drink Folgers, by the way.
Of course.
This is the official Rudders brand, and it's available 300 feet across the street right there at the convenience gas store.
Yeah, we need some virtual scenes from Star Trek and shit.
Hey, that would be cool.
Start messing with my hair, you gave it. Oops, behave, Joe.
Is he drinking Folgers? Yeah, Bob only drinks Folgers.
That's right. Bob prefers.
Yeah.
How do you turn this crap off? Where's it at? There we go. Oh, yes, thank God. Okay, now we have nice, normal background. Oh, well, welcome back, everybody. I was just practicing on some stuff in case I ever get so sequestered again, like tomorrow or something. So anyway, I want to go back and talk about our 6 angels from the other day. So somebody writes me this big, long, 5-mile long spew today. You know, they didn't go to space. There was no scorch marks on the capsule. And of course, I'm kind of laughing at this at the moment. They're like, "Why are you laughing?" And I said, "Because I've been saying this since 10 minutes after the fucking thing landed." I'm like, "Okay, guys," I said, "it's real simple. It didn't go to space." I said it went somewhere around 62 miles up in space.
Yeah.
It's a bit higher than 100, 200 feet, something like that, whatever it is. I said, but it's higher than that. I said, so there was no re-entry. I said, so stop calling them astronauts. I said, you can't even call them mission specialists because they didn't do anything. So you got to call them.
There was no equipment on board, and I mean, at best, they were, the highest parachute jumpers ever.
Well, James, they were no, that's what they were. They were passengers, just like flying on any jet or any commercial airline or anywhere in the United States. That's what they were. They were on a trip to go see the edge of space. They got to go, ooh, look at my little pretty flower, ooh, look at my butterfly, ooh, and then boom, they had to come back down. It lasted about 2 minutes, yeah. Well, I'll be honest with you. We talked about this yesterday or last night. I don't think I would have came in a re-entry in that capsule. I don't even think I would let that capsule take me into space. No,
I'm surprised they shot it up as far as they did anyway. It looks like the glass on it looks like the windshield of your car. You could get imploded any second.
I'm sure it's built like airliners are, but just, dude, I don't know how far an airliner can go. I mean, most of them don't fly above 40,000 feet, so it's rare they go to 40,000. Usually 36, 38, 30, 32, somewhere up in there. It's a rare instance they go above 40,000 feet. But, dude, what do you mean they're not pressurized? But have you ever been in a commercial airliner?
Yeah, they're all pressurized.
They're pressurized. That's why your ears pop when you're moving up and down. No, really, I don't know what. Yeah, maybe in a military plane, and if it went over 30,000 feet, that bitch was pressurized, or you were wearing air masks, one or the other. No, because I've been on commercial flights, well, not military hops, where we had to wear an air mask. But yeah. because I don't think it's good pressure.
Doors video today. He had really good footage of the opening and closing of the door that wasn't supposed to be open.
Oh God,
yeah.
There's some good footage out there now, so people are making fun of that. People are making fun of there's no dust on the dam.
It was a publicity stunt that went haywire. It went backwards. It fell off. It fell completely shy of the mark.
Gail King's all upset now because people say she's not an astronaut. I am an astronaut. No, bitch, you're not an astronaut.
She's barely a reporter. She started in Washington, D.C. as a local news anchor on Channel 7 or Channel 9.
But she's not really a reporter. What is she's a host. She's no different than we are. She's just a host.
Yeah. I mean, but she started as I probably started as a street reporter first, and then became a desk reporter at either Channel 7 or Channel 9 in D.C.
We're considered media hosts. Actually, considered media personalities. We're just hosts.
I heard someone come in. Hi, Sean.
Okay, now we can hand off the baby from Jay to Sean.
What's that?
Yes. I said now we can hand off the baby from Sean from Jay to Sean.
Oh yeah.
I'm the baby.
Sean's the guy.
No, you're not the baby. You're going to be carrying the baby. No, Sean. Jay's been carrying the baby for I don't know how many weeks now. It's going to be a long time. I know that. He's got to pass him around till he gets his
Heidi. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, that's right. Lori, I am the mid father. The mid
father. That word. That's right. I forgot about that. He is.
I'm the mid father to Jay's baby is what I am.
Yes, his alien.
Clearly, the three of us have lost our minds.
Alien demon.
I figured there was no baby, but it's an alien baby, right?
Yeah,
we're thinking maybe
it's an alien baby. Yeah, he got.
It's either an alien baby.
Excuse me.
What's up, Sean?
Are we talking about the sauna again?
I'm thinking it's Captain Kirk's baby.
Okay.
Captain Kirk's
what are we talking
child.
Bastard alien baby. We're talking about Jay's alien bastard baby.
How do we know it's not Spock's? So it's just that
what? Well, I guess he came back from the other side. Who was it? We were talking about the other night that had all their what's his name sperm froze? Amber Turd.
Oh, Elon Musk. Yeah.
No, yeah, Elon Musk. But they were talking. I remember we talked about it last night, and today I heard her talking about Johnny Depp. She's got some of his sperm too. Now they're suing her for her sperm. I mean, his sperm. What the hell ever? That is just effed up, is what that is.
That kind of worms because I had infertility issues. I ran an infertility support group locally here. And although it's a miracle to be able to help parents become parents that they never could have, say 30, well, even 50 years ago, but say egg retrieval and including sperm too, right? This is exactly what happens. And didn't it happen to Sofia Vergara, to her ex-husband? He wanted the baby and they were fighting over it. And then the eggs, like they harvest a ton of eggs and they freeze them. And if you completed your family, what happens to those eggs? Or then you get infertility doctors.
I thought you were going to say that they ate the baby.
Father all these children, 1,000 children. People think
I thought you were going to say they ate the baby. We said the eggs. I thought it was
baby ate my dingo.
Like
or the dingo ate my baby. That's what it was.
They ate the baby.
And then these pieces of doctors out there that are fathering all these children.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, once you donate your eggs and your sperm, you don't know who's going to end up with it.
Nope.
You just
although why are men made to be the ones who pay and all the thing and responsible? If that's
we're working on that. We're definitely working on
the case, man. Well, Canada's got some if you live with a woman for a year, you're responsible for what the hell they do. There's a case where this woman adopted 5 kids, and then with this dude, within a year, she gets rid of the dude. He has to pay for the kids and her.
That's wrong.
No,
they weren't married. Nothing. It's crazy, man.
I'm moving to the United States. Screw you, buddy.
Yeah, common law does apply here. I think after 6 months, and you don't get all of the attributes you would with the little white piece of paper. But yeah, it doesn't. I never heard about the child stuff. That's messed up.
It takes 7 years, and only in states that allow. A lot of states have
a relationship. That's crazy, man. But
I know you know what?
You end up forcing people to run the other way. Now, a lot of guys don't want to get involved in relationships. It's a bad business deal. It really is.
Yes, Carrie, then that doctor, yeah, fertility doctor that I had seen, there was one that was close to 1,000. And how people all found out is all the kids had red hair. They ran into something, they had like a meetup, and they started seeing that a lot of their kids looked the same. But there was one recently, you're right, with 200 that fathered 200 of his patients' kids, and the parents had no idea. Good way. Human beings always screw stuff up, right? It's a good thing, and then somebody jumps in there, the bad apple, and ruins it.
Well, he is a doctor, so maybe
That does not entitle him just because he's a doctor. I don't want him fathering my child if I don't have a partner and want to have a kid. Unwillingly, knowing who he is.
Well, I mean, anybody. If people go to a sperm bank, it's kind of a mixed bag of what you're going to get.
Yeah,
but a doctor's the least of your problems.
Not
at
really,
a sperm
because
bank.
depending on where you, at least in Canada, I can speak for Canada, but it's a lot more controlled, and they know who the donors are. And I again running an infertility support group and people that went through the experience and have shared it, and that's how you make sure your kids are siblings, right? You can't do that.
You just have to go to the golf course when they have a party and
get that's the cheap and easy way.
A little fluty wooty with a few people, 4 or 5 or 6, and then you never know what comes out. Then
but
it's
you know what, Lori? I mean, this is the 21st century, and a lot of women want to have babies, but with no father figure with them,
and that's okay too.
Yeah.
But they don't want the gang member guy.
Want to have kids and can find a surrogate too.
You don't want the sociopath father. You want the one who's like a decent human being, type of thing.
Right.
Unlike a golf course.
I always couldn't understand why my kids, I carried them for 9 months, looked after them, but they looked identical to their father. But genetics takes care of that, right? Because we didn't have paternity tests back in the day.
Well, I've said this a million times. When I met the twins that were put up for adoption, born after me, my sister was so much like my mom. It was weird.
Oh, really?
Not just looked like her attitudes, the way she mannerisms. I mean, I didn't realize that much of us is carried through our genes. Because I mean, and matter of fact, she got mad at me. I said, "You are so," because she wasn't raised by my mother. So when I said that, she got really pissed at me. I said, "Well, I didn't mean it in a mean way." I said, "It's just y'all are like Bob."
It's astounding.
It was freaky weird, and she had the same basic build, same fascination with looking certain ways. I said, "I cannot believe you were not raised in this family." I said, "Ask Stephanie; she'll tell you."
They're looking into the genetics behind the maternal mitochondrial DNA to see, even in the animal world, to see what that carries from generation to generation. So that's really interesting that you shared that story, Joe.
And it's also weird because my baby sister is nothing like my mom. Big boobed, hard headed, just egotistical like a maniac. Which don't get me wrong, Stephanie, I love you to death, but she's insane. And I mean, she knows who she is. She's just whereas my other sister Dawn was just the way she moved, the way she acted was just like my mom. My sister Stephanie is more like my half sister Judy from my dad's first marriage. So it's definitely more of my dad's DNA taking over. It's just kind of weird to watch how it works, And she's got a good close relationship with my big sister, and who's also insane.
Then you get identical twins, genetically identical, and personality-wise, they can be nothing alike.
Yeah, well, Dave and Dawn were twins, but I mean, they were, and of course, one was a girl, one was a guy, but they were definitely a strange group to watch. Mm-hmm. Well, no, there's Janine, there's twins that are really truly twins in everything, but that's a rare.
Like mirror
images. Well, they actually, I don't know who came out with it, but they recently said that in fingerprint, they're coming to think that, and I've been thinking this for a long time. It's like, how can there be an infinite type of amount of different snowflakes? Eventually it's going to repeat itself. Eventually it's going
to be that too.
And so, and the same thing with fingerprints. There's got to be. I mean, there's got to be a reset point at some point. It's like, oh, we've already did that one. All right,
maybe 100 trillion or something like that.
Right, but they're saying that they're thinking that fingerprints aren't that unique.
I can believe that.
So
numbers don't lie. Like take a snowflake with the points on it. There's only so many combinations that you're going to have.
I've often wondered, have a duplicate of the same exact shape. It's inevitable.
Which brings me to a thought. Okay. So, like you said, snowflakes are all different, right? But now someone said it's time for them to change. Okay, go back again. Well, what happens if you're caught in a blizzard up in New York and it's snowing like freaking hell? How many times do you think? How many times do you think that snowflake, the same one, appeared like 2 hours before the one? You know what I mean? Think about
Yeah.
it.
At some point, exactly. There's got to be a reset point. You're gonna, oh, I've seen this shape before and never again. Oh, there it is again. So yeah, what's the reset point? An hour, 2 hours,
I don't think
20 minutes? I don't.
ugly people are going to ever see the same snowflake in your lifetime.
Especially if we're in a big snowstorm. Anybody, you can speak for this. I know, Michael. Well, you're in Pennsylvania. You get snow too, Sean. I don't know where you
Not
are.
this year.
In a blizzard, yeah. So I mean, a couple of
Yeah.
them. So yeah, and I can assure you,
Those are too warm. That's why I left him out.
when your car breaks
Hey, we got a foot of snow this year. Bite me.
I know.
Oh, come on.
That you know the world's coming in when we get a foot of snow.
New
'cause that's
Orleans,
just unheard
yeah.
of. It's a happy white, whatever you want to call it. It was crazy,
Yeah,
but at least everybody was smart and stayed home.
There was YouTube, not all. I mean, they had YouTube shows going on where people in New Orleans said bought nothing of it, walked out their house and slammed and fell on their ass, busting their butt.
Oh,
man.
the ones that were great, the ones that were taking their boats out and putting it in the snow, because that's how much snow there was, enough snow to pull a boat. So they were getting their SUVs, I mean, their RVs, and hooking them up to the boats and loading the boats up with people hauling ass through the snow with them. It was only in Louisiana would you see that shit.
Only down south.
Only in the South. But hey, it worked. And there was enough snow for it. So it was unusual because usually we see, like, if we see snow, it's like 2 inches. It's not snow. It's something that kind of looks like snow, but not really. But this was actually a full-fledged snow.
We got
But
14 inches.
let me
April
tell you about the snow we had this year, and I don't know if anybody else saw, but the snow that we got here in Pittsburgh, it wasn't typical snow. It was more like a styrofoam type of snow. It wasn't real snow. It was totally different. It felt like it was styrofoam.
We had
Must
a
have been
bad
chemicals in the
but
air
I
mixing.
saw that. I saw that people were filming. I know exactly what you're talking about, Sean. People were filming it and seeing it
Yeah.
like that. It looked like styrofoam. Hi, Mish.
Yeah.
Mish is in the future. Happy Easter.
Hey,
If you
Mish.
celebrate Easter Sunday already over there.
Oh yeah, happy Easter.
So no, we like I said, we got 14 inches April 2nd, but it always happens. It seems it's Mother Nature's April Fool's joke. And it happens April the 1st, April the 2nd, without fail. It's all gone, but still, we had a lot. Heidi said in Colorado, she said we had weird snow about a month ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they've been experimenting in Colorado lately.
Because it wasn't laying that much. Not like, I mean, it snowed hard, but it wasn't laying as
I
typical
love
snow
Colorado,
would be
man.
laying.
People are so friendly.
All
you guys
in Colorado were you at?
And wasn't it kind of clumping, kind of weird? It wasn't like,
Yeah.
like snow. You can make it into like a different uniform, cool shapes. This thing was like, I mean, it looked like that. The pictures I saw, if I recall the right picture, it looked like that stuff you can buy on the shelf. It's like kids play with it. It's like a goo with like this white styrofoam things in it, and you mash it in the shape, and it was weird.
Absolutely, that's what it looked like. It just wasn't snow. It was weird.
Normally,
Mish says that she has never seen snow. So, guys, ladies, this is what we got.
When we get those popcorn nuggets, I call
when
them,
it snows
it's
again,
actually
we got
it's usually lake effect snow.
Mish.
So the lake effect snow will come down like the styrofoam.
Her snow.
I've tried. There was on YouTube over the last, I would say, a couple of years ago. I didn't try this one. You take the snow and it wasn't burning or melting. It was just turning black from the flame. It wouldn't melt. So it's
definitely styrofoam. That sounds exactly what styrofoam does. It kind of evacuates from the heat and turns black.
That's what it did. It did not melt because I'd seen somebody do it, and this is a couple of years ago, and I noticed the snow was weird. I don't think we got much left now. I might be able to grab some, but I shaped it like you could squeeze it and shape it, and then I took like a flame to it, and normally you would think it would melt and get smaller. It didn't.
And just turn into water. Yeah.
Heidi got a good point there. I heard that already. this year.
So she said, I lived in Minnesota as a kid and have been up in the mountains skiing, and it was almost like the ski slope fake snow. And I'm 40 minutes from Minnesota. I'm in Thunder Bay in Ontario. So yeah, weird stuff.
The snow was.
Mountains have fake snow. It's not fake
Well,
snow, but
I wonder if you took some of the ingredients that compromise or compose, like a styrofoam, cooler, and you ran them through one of those, snowmaking devices they use on the ski hills, because they use them on the hills here in Pennsylvania. Maybe that would cause it. Maybe we could recreate that kind of effect. But yeah, it's kind of weird. We probably haven't seen all kinds of weathers, because some planets are in different parts of this galaxy, either closer to or further away from their sun. So there may be natural weather-like phenomenon that doesn't occur on this planet, except for like maybe once in a weird blue moon, like that styrofoam snow.
But
do you think
maybe HARP or the government made that type of snow?
No, because then it wouldn't have affected just a small area. It would have affected a larger area.
Not if they just sprayed it.
So first off, we're going to break in a couple minutes. But think of this: when you always talk about weird shit happening in the skies around you, look and see what is close to you. Are there refineries or airports or things like that? Because you'd be surprised how much shit airports dump on homes, and not just near the airport, all around the damn place. So when you pay attention, like if you're driving through a big city, that say the airport's 2 or 3 miles away, you'll start to notice discolorations on the roof. It shows up better on metal roofs than it does on shingle roofs or on terracotta roofs, but you can see it. See, down here, we have a chemical plant that's not that far away. So when the wind shifts a certain way, you can see it. So on my metal roof, on 1/4 of my metal roof, you could see where it was lapping over on certain days. So we started checking for that.
You don't get any snow down. You don't get any snow down where most oil and gas refineries are, because most of them are on the coast.
I mean, there's a few up north, but there's not like there are down here.
Not that many, but I'll bet you the few that are near, I'll bet you those people are experiencing that kind of weird styrofoam snow.
What you're not thinking about though, Jay. So so everyone up north gets our weather. It's the only way I can put it. So the Gulf of Mexico feeds those storms. They come sweeping in from the west. They hit Texas. They start feeding off the Gulf. So once they're feeding off the Gulf, they're pulling everything through Texas and Louisiana and Mississippi. All that pollution is being dragged up to you. And it's one of the reasons our air is cleaner down here is because of those storms. It drags that shit up, and you can actually see it. If you start driving up, you can actually, especially at this time of year when we're getting lots of them, you can actually see the roofs and the discolorations on the roofs. And I mean, we have, between us and Texas, we're producing a third of the oil on the friggin' planet. About half.
What's a ruse?
It's a trick.
It's leading you astray.
It's misleading you. Yeah.
Are you trying to say roof, Chuck?
Right. On roofs, yes.
Okay.
Roofs. You're right. Roofs. It's not roofs, it's hooves.
Roofs. No, it's Creole. It's roofs. It's like when someone says, and they come down here and says, "Oh, well, I like visiting New Orleans." We're like, "Yeah, okay. What city are you in?" They're like, "What do you mean?" So this is New Orleans. This is New Orleans. What the hell city are you from? But see, that's what gets people in trouble. They come down here, or like they'll be in Laplace, and they'll be going, "Yeah, that Laplace place was cool." And you're looking at them like, "Laplace, what?" Laplace. Even though it is spelled Laplace, it is Laplace.
Yes.
It's like Baton Rouge, it's red.
Yeah, just like in French.
Actually, it's not even red stick. People always tell me.
I do speak some French, so.
Yeah, people always tell me that when they see Baton Rouge, they go, "Oh, it's red stick." I said, "No, it's stick red, dumbass." It's Baton means stick, rouge means red.
Rouge, yeah,
so it's actually backwards. And
now French says everything's backwards, so Baton Rouge should be red.
You ought to hear when they get to Thibodeau. Oh my God!
Yeah, Thibodeau.
Some of them places, or when you get to Florida with some of them.
No, it's Thibodeau. No, it's Thibodeau.
Oh, they call it 30 and 30 and all kind of weird names I've never heard of. But when you get down to like Okaloosa and places like that in Florida, it's a lot of even I can't pronounce. But people are just effing up these names, and the locals are looking at you like, "Where are you from? Where are you from?
You ain't from around
here. You're not from around here, that's for sure."
Well, in Pittsburgh, we have our own accent. We have our own dictionary.
But I think everybody has their own accent. Like I can even tell people from Southern Ontario when they're speaking that they're from Southern Ontario. And I know I have an accent. We all do.
But that's why we're popular overseas.
If I would come up to you guys and say, "Can I have a pound of jumbo?" What would you think?
I'd say, I'm not like that, man. Back your ass out of the way from me.
I'd say you'd have to tell me what it is first before I say yes or no.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I'm from Maryland. I'm only a recent train.
I feel like there's a transvestite bar down the block. I think you can find what you want there.
Bologna.
I'm sure they got a lot of jumbo.
Carrie Lynn, you don't have an accent. Carrie Lynn, yeah, she doesn't have an accent, but she's not.
It's almost the same as the Ohio accent. Like when I went to go visit my cousins in Ohio, I'd ask for a Coke, and they'd go, "You mean pop?" I'm like, "Yeah, give me a Pepsi for fuck's sake." I said, "Give me a soda."
No,
you know,
it's
I didn't have
pop
to give
in
you a
Pittsburgh.
new name for
it's
it.
Pop.
We call it pop. As the closer we get to borders.
Been that way for
There's
years.
125 million of us call it Coke.
They give me a Pepsi. They go, "You mean pop?" I'm like, "Yeah, whatever you got in the thing. Give me a goddamn soda, please. Quit correcting me. I'm from down south."
No, it's a pop. It's pop.
Okay, Carrie Lynn doesn't have an accent though, because she's right on the teetering edge of what's called Northern Ontario. So she would have more. I don't notice an accent with her, but I do from people and Michelle doesn't have one either. But there are other people
talking about accent
and stuff. I don't quite say it that way, but you can pick it up.
If you know me when I lived in Savannah or when I first got on the network, I had a Southern
Jeffrey,
accent.
don't ask me. They're all fucking weird. All of them. I don't even know what to tell you.
No, we're all unique.
Thank you, Laura.
This station's very popular in Australia.
As unique
in England.
It's spelt that way.
I know, isn't
it? I don't have an accent. I'm the only one here that doesn't have an accent.
Yes, you do, Michael.
Out of all y'all.
The ones that kill me is listen to us in Asian.
I wasn't going to say where you came from, Carrie Lynn, so you added it. Yes, and there's an American counterpart. There's an American.
This says we're all full of shit, and she's spot on.
Yeah. She's got an accent. She hears us. We got an accent. She's in Australia.
All I know is when I'm doing lectures for Australians or for Brits, they love it. So I'm always getting asked out and shit. So
we should all talk like Australian. G'day, mate. G'day.
That only works in the United States. It don't work over there. They don't need to hear their own accent. They're like, "Fuck you, Australia." But anyway, we're going to break. Y'all do whatever.
I'd rather go with Australian women accents.
You asked for jumbos. Yes. What were you asking for? You didn't tell us.
Bologna. It was bologna.
Oh my God!
I love bologna.
Anyway, stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to break. I got.
Is that buffalo bologna? Is it?
I don't forgot what we're even listening to now. I think it's Sweet Dreams.
No Metallica.
No Metallica.
Not Metallica. It's not Metallica.
That showed up on my Facebook.
Yes, that's fucking Metallica.
Even though we loved it. But
yeah, she sucked Metallica.
I can play a song. Want me to play a song? Or you got?
No, we're playing this. It's already up there. So it's anyway, guys and girls. We'll be back in about 8 or 9 minutes because we got promos coming up after this. So just hang out. We'll get a cup of coffee, get something to drink, get something to do. Yes. This has been in the queue for a little while.
Welcome to the Outer Realm with Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano. Airing live on the United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM in New Orleans.
Tune in to UFO Undercover, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, with your host, Joe Montaldo, right here on the Paranormal Radio Network.
What's out there? What creates the shadows in the corners or the creatures of the dark? Who are those on the other side? What do they have to say? This is the Gateway Podcast. This is not your normal style of paranormal talk radio. Brought to you live from United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM New Orleans.
Welcome to Negotiating Happiness, the show that helps you find happiness, success, and balance in your work and life. I'm Adriana Fiestra, your host for this journey into entrepreneurship and personal growth. We're broadcasting live on 107.7 and 105.3 FM in New Orleans as part of the United Public Radio Network. We explore the latest strategies, insights, and stories from successful entrepreneurs and experts. From managing stress to building a thriving business, we've got you covered.
The Church of Mavis Radio Show, Friday nights at 8 p.m., 7 Central, starring Jeffrey Pritchett with his co-hosts Wham and Jay McNicholas, right here on the United Paranormal Radio Network, UPRN 107.7 FM, New Orleans.
Hi, I'm Brittany Ashley, your host of Breaking Norms, Building Dreams, your guide through this transformative journey in both business and life. This is your place crafted for dreamers, doers, or anyone who has been told they can't. Get ready as we challenge those narratives together. You're tuning in live to the United Public Radio Network, airing on 105.3 and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. We are streaming on all the popular platforms every Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join me for a candid and thought-provoking conversation celebrating your unique journey because you are worth it.
The chat. Welcome back, everyone, to the chat. I hope y'all all enjoyed that. Your little Marilyn Manson there going on, some breaks coming in.
Yeah, and then you had to throw in Michelle's and Amelia's ad right in after that. That was crazy.
Yeah, right after that. Because look, I mean, come on, who are we talking about? Miss. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how many of y'all are familiar with Michelle DeRocha. She's our station manager, good friend of mine. This woman, if it was horrific, she wants to go there. So, like, if it was Vlad the Impaler, where he sat and ate people's heads and shit and dripped the blood off, she'd want to go have lunch there. It's just, if she could sleep in the bed, she would. If it was Dracula's bed, no, she'd be there in a heartbeat. She's like that.
There was a contest several years ago, and I forget. I think it was sponsored by someone in the where vampires are from, Romania, and you got to win a night staying at Dracula's castle and in a coffin in Dracula's castle. That was the grand prize. And when me and Jeff,
we'll be right up Michelle's alley.
We all signed up. I would have gone for that. That would have been cool as hell.
That's just doing another investigation. That's all that would be.
Well, and I call her the Elvira of Canada. I always have since the day I met her. Because she is the Elvira of Canada. And I don't. Is that Jackie? No, she's a friend of mine. No, because she runs my station. No, she runs all of this. I don't run any of this. Everything you see right now going on in the network, you give her credit for. Other than me moaning at her for stuff that I want, other than that, yeah, sure, sometimes she wants to slap me. Or when I wait 2 weeks to give her numbers, I'm sure she wants to slap me. But other than that, no, I mean, the station's well run, a little glitch here and there, but other than that, things are looking pretty good. But anyway, welcome back. I don't know who's going to be the first millionaire on the network. Well, there's already been one, but I don't know who's going to be the second millionaire on the network. Well, wait, Michelle's probably been one. So who's going to be the third millionaire on the network? But still, I've got my eye on somebody. It's well, Jackie. In all fairness, $1 million ain't what it used to be.
No, it isn't.
It's not.
After taxes, you only get 750,000.
Yeah, that's if you've got a lot of things to write off. God help you if you're single with no kids, you get like 550. It's
Here's a perfect example. Anyone in the United States, I dare them to take this challenge. Take a $20 bill and nothing else. Leave your credit card at home, your ATM card at home. Take your ID in your wallet and go to a gas station with $20. Fill your tank up to the halfway mark and get 2 or 3 things else that you need: a package of cigarettes and a 6-pack of beer, or a loaf of bread.
Nasty cigarettes, people.
Guarantee you whatever you get, whether it's deli sandwiches or some snacks and a half a tank of gas, you will walk out of there with a few pennies. 40 years ago, that $20 would have gone a lot further. A lot further.
You guys, I'm going to show you. I'm interjecting. Carrie Lynn made these shirts for the Paracon when she came up here.
Oh, cool.
I can't see him. Can you take your shirt off?
Oh, sure. You take my shirt off and hold it up there. You know what I just saw? That was so funny. I just
Settle
said
down, Sean.
Oh my God.
It was a girl that said, next time, a guy sent me a video or a request of me playing with myself. So she's wearing this goofy hat and these 2 pots on her and all these things, and she's banging on them. And that's what she said to me.
I think Sean's feeling spring, man. He's got springing into spring, dude.
Yeah, I'm springing into spring.
I love it, man.
I turned over a new leaf a couple days ago, and I just love it. Telling people how I feel, and if they don't like it, then
tell us what's going on.
Well, ain't this the perfect show to be a host on?
Do you mind if Carrie Lynn pops in and she's free? We could.
Sure, if you're brave enough to come in, come on in.
That's what because I know you always had an open invite, and I thought, you know what? Why not, right? I don't know.
Carrie Lynn, come on in. Tell her to come in, Lori.
So let's go back to this.
You can hear us. She's in the chat. She knows how to get in. If she can, I'll send her the link.
Yeah, she's a host on a network. She can get in.
Yeah, I know. Well, I couldn't find it though. I'm glad Jay sent me it because I did the usual way and I couldn't find it, so I'll send it to her.
Yeah, we'll bring Carrie. We'll baptize Carrie Lynn tonight. Come on in, Carrie Lynn.
Oh, be nice to Carrie on. Michelle have to hurt all of us now.
I already warned her, Joe, your rule that when you like someone, you tease them.
Yeah, I do tease people. Well, I've been on her show, so she knows.
I know. Here, I'll send it to her.
Who said that?
I don't know if she'll come or not, but she's in the chat joining us. So.
We should get Heidi in here too. She's like
Heidi said she would soon jump off a cliff, man. She's not coming in here with us. I actually, Mark, you know what? Good topic is Elon Musk.
Oh yeah.
So he's gonna make this Canada, instead of making it a state of the United States, it's gonna become the state of Elon Musk. It's gonna be part of Mars.
Okay. The reason why, and I know that you fanboy over him, Joe.
I know.
My problem is, okay, I think Elon Musk he's a fence rider. And you can't blame him. He's got a lot of money, but he goes wherever things serve him well. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I'm just saying I don't want him here.
we know he's not.
What are they going to call it if they give him Canada? What are they going to call it? Musk Canada?
No. So this is a real thing. So
Muskada.
Or this came
something with an X.
Wait a minute now. This was one of Trudeau's idea, was for Canada to become part of the Musk part of Mars. That way, Canada was a protector of, or Mars was a protector of Canada. However the hell they worked it out, because somebody's figured out that Elon somewhere has got a lot of weapons in space.
Trudeau does not speak for me. I can tell you that.
Yeah, well, Trudeau's gone now, so it don't matter.
They'll send everybody else.
But somebody's got the idea, because we've said this a long time. we always thought of Elon as Drax, but it's probably his little kid X is going to be Drax. He can probably do it from Mars too. But more than likely, all these satellites now, with 16,000, it's going to be like 40,000 when he's done in space. I'm beginning to wonder about these satellites. Exactly what do they? Oh yeah, they're big satellites. Have you seen the size of these fucking satellites for just doing bandwidth? I'm like, this is pretty big for just being something that boosts bandwidth from one place to another. It's but they're big enough to knock a Russian missile out of the way, which is kind of cool. When Russia threatened us to nuke, because Elon threatened to knock his missiles down, which was kind of cool. I didn't see nobody else out there threatening to knock.
He's a bad guy.
He's evil, girl. No. But he's not the evil one. So you can tell who's evil. So if you ever watched the movie Damien or anything like that, so here's Elon. He's going along with his little kid X. First, you fucked up when you name your kid X, but we're gonna let that slide. So here's X. He's moving along. So all of a sudden, now what you see is a kid runs past Daddy Elon, richest man in the world, and grabs whose hand? Donald Trump's.
Yep.
So now he's walking around like he's one of Donald Trump's grandkids. And I think Trump's pretty much adopted the little shit, because every time I see him, Trump's got him. Trump lets him do shit. There ain't nobody else in that fucking Oval Office doing. I guarantee you, not even his daddy ain't gonna get away with it.
My kid holding anybody else's hand when it comes to Washington. Same as in Ottawa here.
It is. This is weird relationship. So
it's even weirder than that. It's even weirder than that. When they first showed him, I forget what the speech was. It was like Donald Trump was at the desk, and then Elon Musk and his kid were standing next to each other, right next to the desk, and the kid was wearing like a business coat overcoat. Mm-hmm. It literally looked to me like they were trying to recreate the JFK scene.
With John JFK Jr. and his dad.
At the funeral, when he does like that, he's wearing that same kind of thing. He's wearing a tan overcoat and a business suit underneath, just like.
I think they were trying to recreate.
It was wearing, and that's the first thing I thought was like, oh my god, are they trying to get this man assassinated as JFK number 2? It looks exactly like that.
I think they're trying to recreate the Damien Omen effect.
Oh God, no!
Here's what I just said. You heard what I just said about Damien. The devil child got the president. The devil child, his father's the richest man in the world. I don't know if you're looking at this the right way, man. There's a whole weird aspect.
Something going on.
There's a very weird aspect to the whole thing.
I'm thinking the kid's Drax. That's why he's going to Mars.
Drax, devil.
That way. Well, yeah, it doesn't matter. That way you get to clean off the Earth, get rid of all the scum on the planet. Man. So he'll take 4 or 5 million people to Mars and then wipe out the 9 billion that are living here, and then he'll come back and take his world back, and he'll have 2 worlds to colonize however he wants. The real question is, how will that be? Because we'll all fucking be dead. So
we are. Yeah, we will.
Why do you think I brought up that series, Paradise? Okay, I heard people talking about it. I watched White Lotus. I watched all these things, but that Paradise, like sometimes we got predictive programming out there, and I'm telling you guys, that was pretty darn creepy. The stuff that was involved with the president that became the president. Like I said, wearing bracelets for everything. There were no weapons at all, which I didn't agree with. They had to and the guy, I forget his name. He played in a lot of, I think he just won an Oscar. He's a black guy. He's fantastic. I saw him on Supernatural, actually.
I know you're talking about. I do.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. And he's a fantastic actor. And he's kind of the main character in here because he realizes what's going on. He plays one of the Secret Service. I'm telling you guys, that is interesting, especially where we are with what's going on in the world right now. Because they don't tell you what ended civilization.
Yeah.
They had this built by somebody very rich. It was a woman, though, of a whole city. And she chose the 25,000 that were allowed to go down. And the rest of humanity was not. It was kind of sad, but it's scary.
Mm-hmm. Well, but there are several places like that throughout even history. Like if you're familiar with Darren Kuyu, I think it's in Turkey.
Okay.
But it's an underground facility. And I don't think it goes all that far. Like, I think 10 or 11 levels under this mountain. And it's enough to house, I think they said 20,000, maybe 30,000 people, and food, animals, and supplies. And it didn't say for how long, but I mean, an underground facility built in Turkey before we were building advanced buildings. I mean, that's kind of significant. So why are there, and there's more of those around the planet?
This series, I think, took place in Colorado, because I remember I went through Colorado Airport and I was looking for all the portraits that I had seen pictures. And the time that I did, I had time there. They were doing all this construction, but they got Lucifer there, right? And and now we got places like you just talked about, and I've heard of other places like that, right? So
there are several underground facilities that were made by the ancient peoples of this planet on almost every continent. I mean, the entire country of Vietnam, the reason they have never successfully been invaded is the only way they can get through that thick jungle is that they've had tunnels built under those jungles from city to city, township to township for centuries. That's how they moved men, women, animals, equipment, everything. Everything is underground.
That's how the French got their ass kicked when we had to go in.
Everybody, we got our ass kicked.
Well, that's what's going to happen when the French come to save us from taking over Canada. Oh, Greenland. I'm sorry. Well, no, they said if we take Greenland, they're going to start a fight. Which I'm thinking, you got to be shitting me, right? Just
whoever controls that waterway.
Like I was France said that. Come on.
Yeah, France said they would come protect the Greenlandians, which there's only 58,000
right now. I told you with that series because I think is it Emmanuel Macron and Brigitte Macron. If you can watch it with an open mind, because I did. I thought, how are you going to prove this? Beyond a shadow of a doubt, it's a free series with Candace Owens. They have sent all kinds of legal things. Apparently something happened to Candace Owens. She said she couldn't say, but she said they pulled out all the muscle to make sure the last episode didn't go out, but she put it out there.
Yeah, I bet, because she's a pain in the ass.
You guys don't want to hear this, man, but there's a shitstorm coming, and it's like I can feel it like a tidal wave. There's this wall of energy just coming, man. And then when it hits,
plastic bags, people.
It's going to be some serious stuff. So people better kind of decide, like in their lives, what they really want, and it's about survival. And you know what? The biggest strength is the community. I advise communities, on emergency management and also public health. But the biggest part of it is knowing your neighbor, knowing who's around. Having a network and a connection. The more isolated people are, the weaker that community is. If it's a tornado that hits, or if it's any kind of disaster, anything at all, you need that strength of community. People to check on each other, and people to be there for each other. People to be prepared. Chance favors the prepared mind. So if you're prepared for anything, and anything happens, you're much more likely to get through it intelligently. Rather than rely on, let me tell you, when you call 911, they're not going to be there. You call the police, they're not going to be there. You call the fire, they're not going to be there. There's one ambulance for 50,000 people in the U.S. So, I mean, if there's something that happens and it's substantial, you got to rely on each other and yourself, but there's a lot of stuff coming. I feel it in my gut, and it's been a countdown. COVID was kind of a dress rehearsal, I feel like. And then now we're on the steps of this, whatever's going to come. So just be ready, be prepared, buy extra rice and honey and some beans. What I mean?
I watched a video a few years ago, and when Venezuela was without power and everything, so this was actually quite a few years ago, and they asked them what was the most important thing that was needed. I think it was 3 months they were without what they needed, right? They said water, toilet paper, lighters, and alcohol and cigarettes.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing that they do this in our country whenever there's like a severe weather warning. People the news shows the people going to the grocery stores and the shelves are bare of batteries and water.
Yeah.
But most of the good food is left.
He
on
ran
the shelf.
away.
Hey Joe, how are those MREs, man? I've never had one, but I know
they're good.
Guys
Oh my God, they're good.
Well, okay,
They're
let's just do this correctly. So there's levels of MREs. Okay, some of them, like the ones I got in the house right now. When I get up, I'll show you. They cook. You can pop this little thing and they get warm.
Joe, you shouldn't tell people that. They know you got food.
Joe's got food, everyone.
Actually, wait, better than that. So the last,
but Joe has guns too, though.
Yeah, Joe has guns too. So, but the last time they came through, they gave me about 10 cases of water that has a 10-year shelf life on the water itself. So it's
Right.
sitting in my closet. And then there's about 10 cases of MREs in it, which they would feed you for, I don't know, about a month. You can get more if you want. I mean, there's some of them are okay. Most of them are nasty.
The thing
That's
is,
why I
Things
never
like,
got them because I
they're
got
very
like,
but you know, it's funny. When I was a kid, well, not a kid, when I was a teenager in the Navy, before I went to work for them, I worked for a company called InFlight. We used to package these things. They
Yeah.
used to get things like Nestle's and Libby's and stuff like that. They got really good stuff. So
I
these
do
now,
care.
these have like, well, these will have chocolate in them, but these will have like you get Pop Tarts, real Pop Tarts, but Pop Tarts, but a little crumbly sometimes. Still real Pop Tarts. I guess it's better than nothing. They give you like cinnamon rolls, and they give you apple and grape jelly and different kind of jellies and peanut butter and stuff like that. They throw in there, and then they'll give you some kind of meal, and then another kind of dessert, which is kind of nice. I mean, if you're hungry, they'll feed the hell out of you. They're good for about 2,400
Do
calories.
they still give the cigarettes inside them?
No, they give gum.
Gum, but they used to have cigarettes way back. Probably like
They
Vietnam.
used to have cigarettes. Yeah. When we packaged them, each one came with 10 cigarettes and a pack of matches, and a P93, which they don't package the P93s anymore either. So
no condom.
Yeah, no, you don't get any condom.
Guess
What do you mean?
No,
Jack,
P93s.
you can't over
when the lights go out, people
John
get busy, man. I'm saying
they do.
That's the other
You're
thing.
right.
That's the other thing, Michael, about MREs. They don't have to worry about sending condoms with it because the food inside makes you impotent. So it's a good.
Yeah, that's true. You get saltpeter in it. So.
Saltpeter,
Or puts you
yeah.
into coma. All the carbs.
No, they really are. I've had them. They're very dense. I mean, when you fill up on one of those MREs, I mean, you're like, oh. I mean, it's like when you've had you filled yourself to the max. This is one little, and it's not even that big of a meal. But once it gets in you, either it expands or something.
I think it's meant to do that, though, right? Because some people may not know where the next one's coming from.
I think each one's worth like about 2,000 or 2,500 calories per meal.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Heidi says she has a box of instant firewood, a tent, flashlights, and water, because you should always have that on hand, right? Because and then I think you guys have made a point, including, like you were saying, Jay, going to the grocery store. That's not the time to go get stuff. Get it when you, and Michael, it's
and when you go to the grocery store in an emergency, get food. You get that food that doesn't,
Oh, he pulled them out. He pulled them out.
That's an MRE.
That's an MRE.
Yeah.
This one
What's
says
in that one, Joe?
This one says humanitarian daily ration is what this says. Food gift from the people of the United States of America. So this shit wasn't even packaged for us. This was packaged for some starving SOBs on the other side of the planet.
Yeah. What flavor did you get?
I don't know. It doesn't tell you until you get into it.
Oh, okay.
Usually
the military a brown package and it tells you on the front what it is. So like lasagna, spaghetti and meatballs.
And some of them do. And some of them, see, this one was packaged where Warwick Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. At least it was American made.
Oh, I'll bet it's got some pop in it.
It's but it heats up. You can heat up your food. I don't know.
We
Some
say
of them, I mean,
pop up here, but I know you guys say soda.
I do. Pittsburgh, we do.
we say
It's always
fucking Coke
been pop.
down here.
Yeah.
You want? Oh, I want a Coke, man. What the fuck is a pop? We want a
Pittsburgh
Coke.
and Youngstown are like this far away. And Youngstown is where my cousins are in Ohio, and it always.
I've
pissed
two
me off
people who
we
have asked
always,
me.
in Maryland, we always ask for either Coke or Pepsi. And whether they have Coke or Pepsi, they don't correct you. They say, "Oh yeah, no problem." Up there, it's whether you say Coke or Pepsi, they correct you. It's like it's pop.
See, now people have gotten all dickheaded. Now places like, oh, we only have Pepsi, we only have Coke.
Yeah,
fuck you.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Well, it's PepsiCo, which owns what? PepsiCo owns Taco Bell and KFC. And
I want RC Cola, man. Give me some RC, or give me some Shasta. Remember
RC Cola is good.
Give me some Shasta Black.
You get RC down
I'm good. I'm good.
I want to share my theory with you guys. And here it is.
Sorry, Fresca, but no.
I've worked in a supermarket for 27 years. Okay. I have worked in the supermarket. And I totally and truly believe that the meteorologists are in cahoots with shopping, grocery stores. Okay. Because once the meteorologist says it's going to snow 2-3 inches, everybody comes into the store and buys everything off the shelf.
Guess what I rely on? I have
it works in hardware too, Sean.
and it's never wrong. Even if it's calling for warm weather, soon as it goes on, I got 2 pins in the shoulder and a tumor. And as soon as I feel it, I call that my weather thing because it's never, ever, ever wrong.
But I mean, Sean's right. I mean, you say hurricane, anywhere, and all of a sudden, boom, 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 everything's sold out everywhere. People act, I mean, we go through this every year.
Oh, wow.
So here we go.
Hey,
Gary Lynn. So here we go. Y'all
Gary
ready?
Lynn.
So what we got? Oh, this is instructions on how to cook it. Y'all don't need to see that, I guess.
I'm so glad that you came on.
Yeah,
And
I am happy
I just want
too.
to boost up Sean's point about it's not just supermarket retailing. I worked in retail hardware the last 15, 16, 17 years.
Yeah.
And as soon as the weatherman says the S word, snow, everyone comes in and buy. The smart people come in and they buy the shelves bare of all the shovels that we have. And I always wonder, everyone in the store is wondering, what's wrong with these people? Are they losing their shovel every year? Every year, I swear to God, as soon as they say the S word, the shelf runs dry of shovels. And then the very next day, after all the snow is settled, the idiots show up and go, "How come you're out of snow shovels?" Snow 2 days ago, moron. What do you think?
The three things in the supermarket: toilet paper.
It's the same thing with heating pellets. We sell heating pellets. So as soon as they say, it's going to be cold or snow, the smart people who use heating wood and heating pellets, they come in and they buy it by the pallet, a whole 400 bags worth of stuff.
Thanks,
and then
miss.
the idiots come in the next day. How come you're out of heating pellets?
Here you
got
go,
cold
everybody.
3 days ago, you idiot.
Look at that. Look at that. That is
Sean,
true.
oh yeah, look at that, Sean.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm a rose between two thorns.
Oh my God! I'm just gonna leave that alone altogether. Okay, wait. Here we go. Y'all ready? So what we got? We got crackers. Oh, and we got more crackers.
I would not want to eat those. They've been
And
in
then-
there.
Going to be a big block of
And then we got
right? It's like this.
so this is beans and rice with tomato sauce. There's 2 of them. I guess this is a meal for 2 people here.
What does it stand for,
Maybe
MRE
you're not
again,
regular,
Joe?
sir.
Meals
What
ready
does
to
MRE
eat.
stand for
Yeah,
again?
meals ready to eat.
Meals ready to eat.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm making it complicated. That's really simple.
Oh, so one of them was beans and one of them was lentil stew. So we got lentil stew with the beans and rice.
A lot of diarrhea
Yeah.
food in there, man.
So what is this?
What are they thinking?
Strawberry jam.
They want to give you the Hershey squirts.
So strawberry. Oh, fig bar. Here we
What's going on,
go.
man?
A fig bar. Yes, that looks good. Who likes fig Newtons? That looks pretty
Oh my
good.
God, they want.
Oh,
They don't
nice.
want no cheese.
Oh wait, here's the peanut butter to go to
No
the jelly we
pasta?
just got.
Give me some pasta, some rice.
It's pretty stiff still. It's pretty good.
Yeah, with all them crackers, they ought to get
This,
big
what is this? Oh, pound cake. It's kind of a little squished pound cake.
Gonna dehydrate with all that.
It's
other
the
stuff.
same.
ones
Roast
when you-
cake.
A little hard.
It's the same in
It's
the
a little
world.
hard.
That's
But you know
why
when you
have
pop it open,
that's why you have the strawberry jam because of that pancake.
Yeah.
Probably
Why
so,
is
'cause
that
it's
stuff
just
right near your desk?
No powdered milk. Gotta have
Oh,
some
is
powdered
that
milk.
good?
Why
Oh,
it
yeah.
wasn't already
Oh
food
wait,
by his
strawberry
desk? I was
toasters.
food by his desk.
My desk?
I think he
Joe?
went in
Oh,
the
no.
closet to grab it.
Yeah,
went
this
to
is
the
in the
closet.
closet.
He
I'm
went
like,
to his
I want
closet.
strawberry eggs.
We get every hurricane season. We get MREs. Oh, here's coffee. Oh, look, they still give you matches. Look at that shit.
love it.
Yeah.
What is that? I can't have my glasses on.
That's
What
a
is
Star
that?
Wars figure. It's a Star Wars figure.
Oh my gosh, I love
That's
it.
the next droid who's flying. He's got his jets on. I don't know if you can see
So
that.
cool.
They have them at the marketplace, the antique store. So I bought 3 of the 4 that are there. And it's
I
just
love it.
wonderful.
So, Carrie, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm 105 years old. I'm a witch from the north. So
Yes.
what else is there? Oh wait, I'm sorry. That's
Got
it.
your resume handy.
My enemies.
Okay, do it.
You got to get with the flow here, Carrie.
I don't know how she was able to see these on my desk since they're behind my camera. But if that's what you're
No,
asking
she's
about,
talking
on
to
my
Joe.
desk-
Jay's
She's
whipping
talking
out
about
his
Joe,
toys.
Jay.
I was talking about Joe's snacks, his like
I-
survival.
Yes,
things.
my
But I
friend.
like
So,
it.
so when the end time, when the zombie apocalypse comes,
No, I like that Jay pulled those out because I'm a big nerd. Like I like stuff like that. So I'm glad you showed it.
Yeah, it's just that it was right by his desk. I've got Tums and chocolate.
oh wait, I think there you go.
They don't have any government cheese in there. People love government
These
cheese.
are good. Oh, look at that.
Definitely Folgers, Heidi.
Oh.
That's
God, here
Anakin
we go.
Skywalker. It's kind of like a Funko Pop thing, but it's called Adorable.
Oh.
They're
All
called
mine
Star
are
Wars
over on
Adorable.
my wall over there.
Hmm?
All mine are on my wall over there.
Yes, everybody has something weird behind them.
Like
Mike
obsidian.
has a ghost.
Now I have to grab mine. My dog's
You
going to
wouldn't
take
believe
over.
what I got
But
going
see,
on right
that
now.
would be a true toy for my puppies.
This one?
Yes, they would. I can't. Nothing little in the house. They'll chew it up.
You want to see what's going on?
Especially the demon black one. He chews everything from razor
My
sharp.
Nora
teeth.
would be like that because she's
Yeah,
half
man.
Chihuahua.
This is
Yes,
what's going
that's
on.
right.
See, there's my cat, and there's the skunk outside, and there's a raccoon over there eating the seeds.
Yeah, the raccoons.
We
Michael,
got a
we
whole-
haven't
This is
talked
like an
about
ongoing thing.
Hey,
we
Mike,
got a party
yeah,
going
how's your
on right here.
raccoons going on there, buddy? Because you
We
haven't
got a
talked
party
about them
going
for a couple of weeks, man.
We're all got our collectibles. I love. See, here's my.
It's a party.
I love Grogu. And then
I don't have them up here right now. We have the Grogu Pez dispenser, but it's not up here right at the moment.
And then I have a Thestral from it. It looks like it's knitted.
Lord have mercy. Lord
And
have
this,
mercy.
I love this. I made this. This is looks like it's a apothecary shelf.
Yeah.
It's actually a whole notebook.
Oh, that's cool.
So I have a whole display on my wall over there. So I thought I'd
Yeah, I
pull
got
up.
my ghosty, man.
Oh, I like that. We're taking away from Joe's MREs. He's falling asleep.
No, Joe's. I'm actually looking at something.
I might as well get mine now. Hold on.
Get yours now too, Sean. Okay, what have you got to show us, Joe, besides MREs?
No, I'm just looking at something on my phone somebody just sent me.
This is mine.
And of course,
Martha's over there,
I
if y'all
love
can see
Keanu,
Martha.
Joe, I love Keanu Reeves, and you know that. You have a
Here's that,
story. So here he is.
The store where I got the R2
I hope
units.
I never run into him again either, man. God.
He's
Oh,
married.
that's cool. Who's that?
He has a story about Keanu Reeves.
I don't know nothing. I'm taking a fifth on this.
And I always get him to talk about. I didn't
Men in
bring it
Black.
up. I brought up in a
No,
long
no. You should not talk about things like that. It's bad. It's bad. Let's talk about where I was last night.
I
The guy
just
that
keep
sells
telling you,
these
just
has
put me
a
in touch
Funko
with
Pop
him so we
shop.
can interview him.
I wish. It's.
I never bring it.
I'd be happy with Amber Turd. I mean, you know.
Are you serious?
As it is, I've been working through the mayor. I did Mayor Bass in L.A. when I was in there last week, and it was. I don't know how to explain it. Y'all get to hear it soon, but it was a strange interview. We didn't talk anything about the fire, nothing at all.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about how Hollywood's getting its ass kicked by the southern states, making movies, and then we just talked about Governor Newsom for 21 minutes or so. I didn't say anything. She did. She just, he's this, he's that. It's his fault. This is his fault. That's his fault. Basically, she wanted to call him a fucking no good asshole, but she couldn't quite get away with that because you can curse on this show, but you can't curse on that show. So, that was ours. It's cool, no cursing allowed on that show. So she was unhappy with Governor Newsom's the best way. And,
So, Carrie, how you been? We haven't heard from you in a while.
I'm good. I'm good.
You good?
We have a new show together on Thursdays.
Oh, and speaking of that, now I'm disappointed about one thing. See, I love that little promo thing y'all had for the show.
Yeah.
With the baby jiggling at the end, and she's so creepy, weird. I played it all the time when you're like, this is creepy, man. Y'all gotta make me something weird, people. Come on. I need something strange and weird.
Okay.
Yes.
So
I can't wait to hear y'all. I mean, I caught a piece, but I can't wait to hear y'all for real.
That
for
show
real.
we pulled out of our butt was 1 minute before we went live on Thursday.
Yeah.
We have 6 weeks of the show already planned.
Yeah.
I know
and
the
the
Empress
weird,
told
the
me.
strange things we want to know about.
It's all organized.
Yeah. Well, y'all have fun. Sooner or later, I'll stop by and say hi.
I hope you do.
You can always invite me as a guest. That's scary, damn.
We're gonna have to build.
Unless we talk about what I was talking about last night. It's scary.
Maybe we'll have to do an alien episode or something.
I can't. Somebody just a while ago says, "Oh, can I pay you money to talk about what you were talking about last night?" I said, "Sure." There's a lot of stuff I can talk about last night. It's just a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we can do anything we want here. It doesn't matter.
All the good stuff is pretty much maybe. But you know what's funny? There is some good stuff. I can't tell you, but it's out there because it was released a decade ago. It's and I told them it was released a decade ago. There's nothing you can do about it. It's been out there a decade. Bringing it in now. It's all over the internet. So it's one of them
What
things.
time did you get at home back in New Orleans?
Well, this is a weird story. So I was talking to the pilot. He came and sat down. We was having a cocktail while we were flying back from DC, and he said, "Where you from?" I said, "I'm from New Orleans." I said, "But I'm living on the Gulf Coast now." He said, "Oh, so you mean are you close to Biloxi International?" I said, "Yes." So he said he calls in, gets the car changed to there, and flies into Biloxi and drops me off, which is
Nice.
only 38 minutes from my house, whereas New Orleans is about an hour and 10. So I was like, well, that's cool. Well, I mean, they rolled out the red carpet. I mean, I felt like I was Donald Trump himself. I mean, they really rolled out. First time they did not do that. First time it was like, sit down, sit down. I don't. I'm like, yeah, fuck you too. And they're like, is he telling the truth? He's talking to the guy from Conoco. He's telling the truth. Like, yeah, he's telling the truth. And I'm like, yeah, well, fuck off, dude. And it's just, it was kind of, and that was, but this was a whole, like, wow, I must have impressed somebody's ass. And it's kind of weird. It's kind of a little scary too at the same time. Oh, let us put you and your wife and your two dogs on a private jet to DC. Wait, what? So part of you's going, yeah, and the other part's going, run like us.
Yeah,
run.
I grew up with my dad doing top secret work, so my paranoid brain, I would have been like, wait, how do you know I have two dogs?
Oh yeah. They knew so much. They know so much about my life. It's not even funny. But it was they had their questions together, and they really wanted to do like 2 more days, but it was Easter, so they didn't. But it's they had their questions together, and they like me because I just answer. I'm like, well, maybe. And no, I just blurt out the answer.
Did you meet did you meet New Orleans Senator Mr. Kennedy?
I wish I would. No, he's for some reason he hasn't been in either one. Maybe he doesn't have an interest. I mean, he's got his ass up to his eyeballs full anyway. But I'd love to meet. I've actually met him twice doing COVID. Him and one of the other senators. I used to go to their town hall meetings and stir up shit. Yeah, actually,
I like Kennedy. He's funnier than hell.
He's mean as hell too. He doesn't. He has no problems with telling you you're full of shit, which is one of the things I like about it. Because I mean, that's how our country is now. Right now, everybody's Jackie. No. My Democrat friends are so mad at me right now. Actually, some of my conservative friends are mad at me too. So don't feel bad. Mainly because I was taking Bill Maher's side the other night. Bill Maher's. Did y'all watch Bill Maher after he went to the White House?
Yeah, I did. That was funnier than hell.
Ladies, close your ears. He all but gave you know who or you know what, man.
Oh my God! Like we never heard language like that before.
I'm just thinking he could have been the next Monica Lewinsky. I was just like, wow. And then he kept saying a blowjob room, and I'm like, oh, what was going on here, Bill? Jesus, I've just never heard that much. I mean, come on, Bill is a hardcore ass liberal, and he really did. He kissed Trump's ass like I was stunned. I was just like, wow. Did he?
I think Kid Rock had a lot to do with that.
I'm sure he did, but Kid Rock told me you got to bust in on the conversation because he never shuts up. And Bill said he wasn't even like that.
I have to give this to Kid Rock. Okay, I seen him. We used to go to Cadott, Wisconsin for Rock Fest, and I really wasn't excited about seeing him. I mean, he had some music. He is one of the most talented musicians I have ever seen. There was nothing he couldn't play. He sounded exactly like he did on an album, but you knew he was singing live. He was a real entertainer. He blew me away because I never thought that of him in a million years. So I have to give him props.
He definitely loves him some Trumper. He's like, I love my Trump. Viva la Trump. Viva la Trump.
But he didn't talk politics when we were in the concert.
He'll talk politics anyway. I've watched him. He's like a couple of times he just will be talking to somebody about music and he'll just go off. As a matter of fact, he was pushing one of Trump's agendas lately. I was like, wow. It's nice to see that. I mean, the first time Trump was president, you didn't see any of that shit, and it was a lot harder. And this time this time he thinks now he's royalty. Who came over and made him royalty today or yesterday? Okay, look, people. Donald's okay, but you can't go making a man royalty. He's already kind of slightly unhinged. So let's not make.
He's trying to put people in jail without the kind of due process, and it's like Donald Trump doesn't.
Well, that's a good thing. So
yeah,
I was reading about that the other day. Due process. Well, if you're an immigrant, if you're a legal immigrant, you have due process. If you don't, you have no due process.
Yeah, if you're an
illegal, you're here illegally, you don't. So everybody that they've been talking about are illegals. They don't have due process. They're not entitled to due process. And the judge from 2017
for warrants and court appearances in their countries, which is why they fled the country in the first.
Well, it's like this guy they're crying about right now.
Yeah,
I feel for this guy because he probably shouldn't be there, but in 2017 and in 2019, so an Obama judge threw him out, and a Trump judge threw him out, and he's still here.
Yeah.
So all they did was finally throw him out the country. They even told him, look, we'll get you another prison, but you can't come back here because if you come back here, we're still going to throw you out because the courts ordered you to be out of the country. I mean, they were pretty clear about that. So, I'm listening. Why are we fighting about something we already know can't be changed? Because two judges and the Supreme Court said he needs to be thrown out the country because that's what's been said. So he needs to go. Does he need to go to Venezuela prison? I don't know. I don't know who the guy is.
So
does he have to be out of our country? Yes, that's what the law states.
Qualifies due process, though, sir? I think it does.
Here's a question, and I don't know the answer, so I'm going to ask you all. What is the Logan Act?
No clue.
Oh, I'd have to go look it up. They were talking about it the other day, but I have to go.
That mayor can go to jail. That senator from Maryland can go to jail because he violated the Logan Act.
So there's certain things in place for different way you handle things. You can't. So how can I say this? If as a senator you try to override a president, that's considered treason.
Right.
You can actually be put to death for that.
So
there's little layers of that in there. Go ahead, Jay.
It says the Logan Act, enacted January 30th, 1799, is a United States federal law that criminalizes the negotiation of a dispute between the United States and a foreign government by an unauthorized American citizen.
Yeah, that's been used before.
Yeah. So Van Hollen, if he's gone to try to negotiate for this man's release, and he's a senator, he did this on his own. If he's using Senate's money and he's negotiating for this, he's in big trouble.
Yeah, see, everybody forgets. Hey, Z, everybody forgets that these laws are on the books, and these are laws that Congress don't want to do away with.
That was on the book of 1799. That's from the first GD Congress.
Yeah, and those are the kind of laws that if they've been there that long, they work, so they don't want to mess with them.
Hi, Kevin. Peace and Dragons here. Saying hi.
So,
hello.
Good evening.
He's Canadian too.
Oh, another Canadian. Oh my goodness.
We're being surrounded, man. Jesus.
Oh, God.
You can't knock the old laws, man. When I was 17 years old, I had a problem with my blinker system, and I know the cops were out to get me because we used to drag race on the highway. My friend Joey, it was like, you know what? If you wear a white glove on your left hand and do hand signals at night, you can they can't do anything to you. He's like, it's an old law. Man, I did that shit and I got pulled over. And I'm like, told the cop, he's like, bullshit. He wrote me a ticket. I went to court and I said, Judge, it's an 1894 law, whatever it was, with horses and carriages. And the judge is like, it's still a law. I grant it, like he kicked it out. That's cool, man. So you got to go for the old laws.
There's some weird ones out there. There's one specifically in Chicago, and I think it was based on one of the World's Fairs. I don't remember which year, but the law is that it's illegal to put an ice cream cone in your pocket.
That's right, damn it.
Yeah, it's weird.
Really?
Yes, really.
Oh.
What if you want to cool your tool, man? You know what I mean?
Apparently,
I guess it's illegal to do that too, man.
Fine. You can welcome to do it.
I mean, doesn't comfort come first? Comfort first.
Sticky. It's all gooey and sticky. Yeah.
That is a system that has far too much time on its hands.
You might be a little overheated too. You might like softer ice cream. You know what I'm saying? It's win-win-win.
And
Win,
Kevin
win,
had a
win.
toolbox.
It's there. It's on the books. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of examples of other stupid laws like that. You know, in Georgia, in order to have consensual sex, you have to be married to the person you're having sex with. A, B, it has to be in the bedroom of the house. B, the lights have to be off. C, the outdoor shutters, wooden shutters, have to be closed. D, the drapes drawn. E, and everyone has to be under the covers in the bed.
I can understand that.
Yeah, you avoid any one of you forget any one of those things, they can legally arrest you. So you go to bed with your wife in your bedroom with the shutters open, they can legally arrest you.
Oh my God!
No, but I can understand. I was getting dressed at a friend of mine's house. You know, I was about 30, and I was getting dressed. About 28 actually. He goes, somebody knocks on the door. And said, Joe, this girl wants to ask you out for a date. I'm like, what? She said she's watching you dressed in the window. I'm like, no, the curtains are closed. No, isn't little thin ones. It's like getting ass and fucking end up in jail. Oh, man. I gotta give it a nice date. She's a very sweet girl.
You've told so many stories. He knew Britney
Joe
Spears.
Joe's doing the helicopter in front of the window.
Taylor Momsen.
Do that helicopter. Woo-hoo.
Maybe in a quarter you might not go to jail. I better put some jail for that kind of stuff. No,
Okay, but know if there's any Peeping Tom, Iowa. Is that what it says? Oh, laws. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on. Peeping Tom laws.
Oh yeah, there's lots of those. Yeah. Maryland, where I live in Pennsylvania now, but I'm from Maryland. They have Peeping Tom laws. They have laws. They have all kinds of laws that protect women from all kinds of like creepy behaviors, if you will.
So if you're a woman and you're a peeping Tammy, I guess you're okay.
Yeah. Hey, how about peeping women?
I think I've ever heard it called that before.
How about peeping Tara? You know what I mean?
I think that's a better name. I just pulled it out of my head because I couldn't say Tom.
Truth be told, Sean would rather it be a peeping Kamala.
Kamala. Get it right, brother.
Peeping Kamala, yes.
Get it right. Kamala.
A Camila.
Camila, yeah, whatever that idiot.
Whoever she is.
Watch it. I don't make fun of your UFO alien that got you pregnant.
That's right. That's right.
Did you hear that? Yes, this has been going around that they're pregnant.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I don't know how this baby's getting out, and I don't think I want to know either, but when it happens, we'll all just go to break.
Haven't you guys
we'll take a break.
We'll play more Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, that's right. We'll go to break.
No Metallica.
Yeah.
No Metallica. Metallica's
I got a song. I'll play a song, man.
Fucking Metallica.
I thank Heidi.
You're banned from playing songs.
No, let Mike play.
No.
Oh man, he's banned. Oh my God.
Let Mike play.
We still got 8 minutes
on again. Please don't.
Jay, who gets fined in that state? Do both the husband and wife get fined, or just who gets fined?
That I don't know. Yeah,
they just take the wife out and beat her, and then bring her back. That's all.
Oh, good Lord.
So in Louisiana, you can still to this day, as long as you use a 4-inch belt, you can still beat your wife on every Sunday of the month. Oh, I'm sorry, the last Sunday of the month.
She beat you?
No.
Oh, okay.
Where is that? Georgia?
In Louisiana. Plus, you cannot drive without shoes. You can get a year in jail for driving without shoes.
In Maryland and Pennsylvania, you can drive without shoes. You can drive barefoot.
Flip-flops are banned. Flip-flops are banned across the entire fucking South.
I used to drive my MGB, which was a 4-speed manual. I drove with a clutch, a brake, and a gas pedal barefoot all the time.
Oh my God!
All the time, dude.
Yeah. Down here, put your ass in jail for that.
It's legal in Maryland, so I'm okay, dude. Legal in PA too.
So you serious? You mean why? Yeah, Trump might give up on the Ukraine. He not on Ukraine, on Russia. He pretty much just said if Russia's going to keep fucking around, we're not going to waste our time. We got other things we want to do. Right now, we're beating up on Iran and the Houthis and Hezbollah.
Yeah, Houthis. How do you say that?
Yeah. Houthi.
I'm waiting on my $5,000 check, man. I gotta buy some MREs apparently.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait, what is this? So the United States has a $150 million trust, $150 trillion trust. So it's enough to pay off our debt 4 times. So I'm listening to these guys. Yeah. So I'm listening to these guys going, what the fuck? I've never heard of this before. So I'm listening to way back, like this is way back.
Whose money did that come from? Ours or what?
It's ours because we bought this. We took this stuff back in, I don't know, like 1800 or something. So they were showing where everything is in our country and the land. So the land the United States currently holds is worth $175 trillion.
Wow.
Not including what they said is underneath it or in it.
I thought it was we the people. What happened?
Yeah, apparently it's we the government had. But what they were talking about is this could be resold back to the people. And then how did it work? Everybody would get $1 million. Plus the debt would be paid off. Well, there's no reason to do that because that's an ignorant thing to do. So if we get $1 million,
$1 million worth of land instead of $1 million worth of cash.
Well, I think they're going to offer you both. So the problem with us is
that means we get it if you take us in, Joe. You keep teasing that you're taking over.
Right. Hey, I'm trying to get y'all in there. So there'd just be more land to give out. So, but they're talking. You'd probably get Coke would probably run you about $50 or something, $25. You know, if everybody got $1 million, everything would go up instantly overnight. It's like when you hear them tax the rich. Well, if you tax the rich, they just pass it on to you, dumbass. So all it's going to do is make your prices go up. I never did understand that. I got a lot of friends that all the time. So you got tax the rich. I said, yeah, I'm going to help you out. I said, Elon Musk paid $10 billion in taxes last year. Just him. SpaceX paid something like 105. I think Tesla paid more than that. They're paying their fair share. It's not really the issue here. It's
they're
people who let have their money.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because if you go up, if you just said we're going to pay more taxes, well, guess what? The price of Teslas just went up. The price of everything X is doing just went up. So it doesn't work. You can't raise taxes to fix the economy. It's never worked because I mean, I guess you could have if you could go. Okay, look, we're going to put a freeze on y'all. Y'all can't raise your prices. Okay, and then we're gonna raise the taxes this amount. So then the companies would have to figure out a way to eat the loss, like with the tariffs. A lot of companies are trying to eat the loss in these tariffs so it doesn't affect the people, especially since the economy. So eggs down here $2.99 a dozen, ground meat $4 a pound. It's already come down.
So right now, the price of diesel has really gone down.
Damn, that's what's saving our asses.
Cheaper than gasoline now. So you're going to see a natural fluctuation of prices. It's going to fall, naturally because of that. If Trump can solve wars and whatever, that's great too, man. But really, it's the cost of doing business is diesel and all the other stuff, And we need more refineries and also nuclear power plants. I think if he can balance things out, we'll be just fine. We need to be able to be self-sustained.
Problem with this is a 12-year job they need to do. So Trump's only here.
I don't like Trump, but he's making me like him in a weird way. I think since he got shot in the head, he's changed.
Bill Maher now, he's 100% a different person. He's 180 degree flip around.
Bill Maher,
weird paranoid asshole we used to think of him. He's just
Michael. What song do you got playing, buddy? What song do you got playing?
Yeah, it's time for break.
Winona's Big Brown Beaver.
Oh no, I've heard that one. Please don't play.
I mean, Lorelai's already say, "Come on, man." Don't make me go find a song.
The song. I know who they are. I've had it played.
Oh my god.
We have a few other songs that are good too, besides that one.
It's quite the song.
Play some South Park or something.
You gotta love Primus, man.
There you go. I couldn't remember the name. Primus. There you go.
One of the most talented bands that are out there.
Les Claypool. He's the guy singing.
Are we ready for break? Is that what?
Yeah, we're ready for break. If you're gonna play some weird songs, it's time to play some weird songs.
It's not a weird song, but it is a weird group.
Oh dear God.
No, he wasn't kidding either.
Where is Stop Jamming?
There you go.
That's today.
People, remember this is courtesy of Michael Angley. Bitch at him.
Oh my God.
Yep. My mama's got herself a big brown beaver and she shows him off to all her friends. One day you know that beaver tried to leave it, so she gave him up a cyclone fence. Along came Lou with the old baboons and recognized that smell. It smells like 7-Eleven. That beaver ain't Now Rex was a Texan out of New Orleans and he traveled with the carnival shows. Ran bump cars, sucked cheap cigars, and he candied up his nose. He got wind of the big brown beaver, so he thought he'd take himself a peek. But the beaver was quick and he grabbed him by the kiwis and he ate his poor and she stuck him up in the air. Said I sure do love this big brown beaver and I wish I did have a pair. Well, the beaver wasn't stuck for 7 days and it gave us all an awful fright. So I tickled his chin and I gave him a pinch and the bastard tried to bite. Well, I know I loved her big brown beaver and she stroked him all the time. She didn't figure one day and I learned to her smile that porcupine.
Are we back? Are we still at break or something like that, man? You gotta love Primus, you know.
That they have probably taken way more acid than is possibly humanly possible. They're strange creatures, those guys, but that's a great song.
You know what? Another band for 3 guys that produce all that musical integrity, that sound. Oh my god! Because they jam. I've been to their live shows. They jam, man. They jam. You know.
Thank God I didn't have to listen. I went up front and checked on my order from my food.
You know what? We're known as. Oh no, the guy kind of looked like you from New Orleans, Joe. That
I wasn't here, so I don't know.
Yeah, he did. He had that goatee.
Doesn't matter. I wasn't here to see
that goatee and the hair, man. I mean, New Orleans. Come on, dude.
I wasn't here to see it. I was doing something else. I'm sorry. I was up front checking on my food, man. I got chocolate pie coming. I got some Easter bunnies coming. I got some heavy hash coming.
Oh, yeah, it's Easter. I keep forgetting it's Easter tomorrow.
That's right.
Keep forgetting, man.
Yeah, you got some Easter eggs coming that the kids try to
You have
find.
enough rabbits outside your back door there, Michael. I'm sure one of them could be your Easter bunny.
Yeah, I've been in a battle with a metal recycling guy in town. Now I think they're going to try to kill me. I think that that is pretty much it, man. I've been kind of keeping my eye open, you know what I mean? But yeah, so that's why I'm looking. Easter kind of escaping my mind when people like the guy actually threatened me, and he also sent somebody around to see me. They didn't know I'm 6'5" and 300 pounds and heavily armed. You know what I mean? Plus been doing martial arts since I was 7. So I'm not really the kind of person I think that they probably want to mess with.
Oh, so you next thing we know, you're going to be over there with Putin with what's his face?
Maybe they are, because no matter how good you are, no matter what you think you are, there's always somebody that can outbest you.
Yeah.
Especially when
somebody bigger, badder, stronger.
That's true. No, what's the big goofy guy, a movie star guy? He's over there with Putin right now.
Steven
martial
Seagal.
arts. Yeah, Steven
Seagal.
Oh.
That's who Michael thinks he is. Steven Seagal.
Yeah, but so what? He got fat.
No, I'm too lazy to fight these days, but I'm strong enough to pull a trigger. You know what I mean?
Well, wait, hold on. So wait, Bruce, you're gonna sneak in
like Bruce Lee.
Wait, you're gonna sneak into Australia? Wait, Australia's a fucking island, right? I know it's a continent and stuff, but it's an island. You know that, right?
And I know the cops are in his pocket around
here.
So,
I mean, how are you gonna sneak? What are you sneaking in from New Zealand? You sneaking in from South Asia? Are you sneaking in from where? Ohio.
Someone say here, man.
I need whatever kind of drugs this guy's on.
Did you see Mish posted one of her, or she shared one of the weird laws for Australia too? Apparently, you can't drive in a thong.
Oh my God!
Wow. I can see that in old cars. I can understand that. You might get ass rash.
Great underwear.
Oh wow!
No thongs for Michael.
Michael likes thongs too, so you gotta watch it.
You gotta go commando when you're in the outback. The outback is commando.
That's right.
Yeah, you want to keep it loose in the outback.
So it's a pair of thongs. If you only wear one, you're okay.
Oh, wait a minute.
So it's a pair of thongs. So if you wear one pair, if you wear one thong, you're okay. You wear two thongs, that's pair. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's really weird. That's kind of very specific as well.
It's very specific and weird.
So, we talk about shit. All of a sudden, I'm talking. I mentioned picking on him about Moscow. It comes right up on my screen.
Here, thongs are underwear.
Thongs are shoes, apparently.
We call them flip-flops, Jay.
Yeah, down here, a lot of places that you legally drive with.
Well, that's a good thing, because flip-flops are nasty things. They get stuck under a gas pedal and boom.
The Czech Republic has
I'm thinking of a different direction, man.
Yep.
I'm from New York. Sandals are sandals, thongs are thongs.
Right?
I don't know about that. When I moved upstate, people are like, "Hey, we're having a cornholing event." Cornhole. I'm like, "You have an event for cornholing?" And then he's like, "Yeah, come on, a lot of fun." He's like, "You know what cornholing is?" I'm like, "Yes, I do know what cornholing is." I'm like,
"Apparently you don't, man."
He's like, "Yeah, we do it in public." It was a whole different meaning from what I was thinking.
It's a game. It's a game that nobody knows what the true meaning of the game is. Where the name cornhole even comes from. And I've told the story
on Long Island, cornholing is a whole different thing.
Cornholio. It's like assholio. It's cornholio.
It's a whole different event.
Yeah, it is.
We got a full eclipse in April. Look at this.
What?
All right, United States got a whole total solar eclipse across the U.S. in this April. This fucking April is almost over. When is this?
Of course. Every time it happens, it's cloudy. I can't see anything, man.
We talked about.
I seen the last one. I seen the last one.
We talked about that on Friday or on last night's show with Joni. She's an astrologer. She said we're going to get hit left, right, and center with all of that stuff the rest of April. She said every month we're getting hit all the way until October. It's something with the planets like that. It's duck and cover. So she said all those people who are reacting with fear-based, who are buying up all the toilet paper right now, are going to be even worse by September.
You know what's crazy? Tomorrow's Hitler's birthday. People always do crazy stuff on Hitler's birthday, right? And then on top of that, you have mass depression out there because we're coming out of winter. People are down. and it's a very popular time for suicide right now, unfortunately. So you really have to, like, if someone's feeling down, you really got to get a hold of them and talk to them.
Yeah.
Make sure they're okay, man. but it's also the time that wackos go crazy. So I mean, there's a lot going on, but I'm feeling like a tidal wave, man, like whoosh coming, and like I'm ready for it after the crap I've been through. I've been I've been conditioned. Now I'm like, oh, nuclear war, okay, that's fine. I guess some sodium tablets or potassium tablets, right? I'll go see Joe and get some MREs.
That's right. The memory's got all the fucking calories you need and keep you alive for days.
I'll bring the weed. Stocking up. People are gonna stock up on bullets. I'm gonna stock up on weed. I'll trade that for all kinds of stuff. All kinds. No, man, I really feel it in my gut, like how I felt when 9/11 was. 9/11 was one. I'm saying, like, COVID, that was a countdown. I was counting down, and I kind of kept just whatever was going to happen was getting closer and closer. You just feel that impending heaviness, and then boom, and this happens. And I told my ex, I'm like, this. We were together for a while, and I said, this is going to happen. She thought I was nuts, And I'm like, you gotta be ready. It's gonna happen. I'm like, their whole lives are gonna be different. Whatever's gonna happen is going to affect everybody, and the whole life is gonna be different, And I didn't see like an ending of stuff, but I saw like something was coming, and boom, COVID hits. Right?
I've told people that for decades and decades, especially when they're like, they're impending war. They're like, because this isn't the first, and it's probably ain't gonna be the last time we hear about people talking about the possibility of World War III happening. But whenever something really bad happens in the world, everyone's like, "Oh my God, it's really bad." I'm like, you don't know how bad it is. There are things flying around this planet right now that could, things that we may not detect in time with our detector systems that come out of a blind spot, and boom, this rock hits the earth and sanitizes the surface. We may not have but 30 seconds to do some of these.
If you're talking about nature, it's one thing.
Yeah.
Just, like volcanic events, super volcano blowing. I'm talking about human nature and the boiling point. We're at a boiling point economically. We're at a boiling point. Throughout the world, every country that we're dealing with, who's dealing with us, and then
that's a cool mug.
There's a lot. Nature has changed. So you got to look at those facts. You have so many things happening at once that it's just really heavy, man. I'm not sure if everybody can get through the door at the same time. And I think that it's going to be one event after another, leading up to a larger, a skipping of stones to a larger event, which is going to come to an end and a new beginning, because people are going to have to decide.
I'm going to jump in here quickly, because you know what, Carrie Lynn, you had Joni on here, and how does that resonate with astrology?
What she said was with Neptune and Sagittarius, and the way that Aries is hitting with this eclipse, it is world events, like big world events, and so that you're right, Michael. Like,
that's why I said that.
The way the planets are lining up, and each country will have its own sort of upheaval. And do you remember the example she gave? It was like Tiananmen Square when that, and Russia when,
and then when the walls fell, when Reagan said take that
the
wall
Berlin
down.
Wall.
It was all at that time.
Yeah, those things happened when this conjunction that we're moving into before the end of April. All of those happened in that same type of conjunction.
And I'm feeling like an intensity, like a great intensity, like an unbelievable intensity of these events. So something that might be normal event, all of a sudden is like a flood. All of a sudden is 30 times worse. You know what I mean? But the man-made part of it, I think push has come to shove, and I think people are drawing the lines. But we'll see where things are.
Well, the people who are stuck in still like the old way, their comfort zone of doing things, who aren't ready to move forward or look outside of the box, right? Mm-hmm. So, and you were right with COVID too. I started probably the end of October, beginning of November, before that March of 2020, saying that there was something off coming. And big, and then for sure, it was at least 4 months prior where it felt pretty heavy, where you knew something was coming.
Sorry, that's why I jumped in, because it really resonated, some of the things you had said, Michael. And I'd watched Carrie Lynn on her show, and then her on Father Sean. And then when what Joni had said, it like she had almost said word for word some of the things you were saying.
And she said, like, the way that the reason why all the astrologers are freaking out is the way that everything is lining up for 2025. All those outer planets, when you're looking at charts, have never all moved in 1 year before. So there is no reference points, because astrologists look to the past to say, okay, in the past, these things happened. And there's parts where they can't look back. There's no reference point. So they can't say, get ready for some of this stuff, because there's no reference point for them to look back to. So they're freaking out too.
So there you go.
Well, let me ask you girls a question, and guys.
Sure.
Someone brought this up to me about maybe 3-4 years ago. Maybe it's what we're talking about, but you really can't go with the astrology chart now, because, I mean, even if a planet moves 1 degree in the solar system, would it not change the whole astrology forecast for a person?
They're all changing. All those outer planets are changing this year, and that's never happened.
Okay.
It's never happened. So it's looking at where they're landing in that chart. But for almost everybody across, like, Joni was teaching a class, right? She was teaching these 2 classes, and every single person, when she was looking at these eclipses and the way that things are landing, every single person had the exact same trine happening, where it was upheaval in the north and south nodes, which are your karma and destiny and your path and purpose. Every single person, and that's more than, odds. That's weirdness. That a whole class of like 20 people all have the exact trine.
You want to hear something really weird? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
So I've got this hankering and this really impending need to be above 3,000 feet. And I don't know what it is. And it's been going on for a few years now, of just something telling me I should be above 3,000 feet in elevation. It's just kind of weird. I don't know why, but you got to follow. I know enough people that are in the world of the paranormal, of course, and everything else, and psychics and all that, and people who have their theories. And when you have a kind of a need for something, you should listen to that.
You should follow your gut. And the thing is, what it's taught me, and again, I don't mean to bring it up, but my son passed away unexpectedly January 15th. And I've always worked, thank you. And my I've always worked in the death and dying field as a nurse before I hurt my back. So I've been around that. And I'm choosing for people that maybe are afraid, because this does sound scary. But none of us are promised tomorrow. I'm not trying to be fatalist. So I'm really trying to remember that we try to live every day like it could be your last, right? Try and you're going to go through bad things. And that's when I think you rely on the people that are around you, that know you, that have your back. And I'm not trying to be all woo-woo kumbaya here, because that is scary to hear what we're talking about, but none of us have the control. So Michael, for you, like you say, you're feeling this. There's a reason why you're feeling this. And I you know what? I've known you long enough. You're very intuitive. All of you are, right? We all have that within us. And I think we hear that inner voice and we follow it if we need to, or we prepare. Like you said, we've talked a little bit about preparing. Whatever gives us a little bit of comfort and lives in the moment, right? I really believe that, because that's all we have right now. You can't control it.
I'm absolutely ready for anything that could happen.
Positive. She says it's going to be positive. It's still upheaval, but with that positive end change, right? Like we have to get.
I don't know what the 3,000 foot thing's all about. I don't have no clue. I just feel like
supposed to know everything.
Yeah.
You want to hear something funny? It's this choking type of feeling. And right before 9/11, like 2 weeks before 9/11, I was going down Fifth Avenue, was driving south, and I was actually cutting through Manhattan, making my way out to Long Island. So I was heading for the bridge, and then I started getting this terrible feeling, man. Like, it's funny because I was rolling a camera, I had a high 8 video camera at the time because I was doing shows, And I'm like just kind of taking footage and whatever. And I'm like, damn, like I thought something was wrong with me. I felt like my chest was compressed, and then I felt like I couldn't breathe, and it was just like really terrible. I'm like, Jesus, what, I gotta go to the ER? Like, what the hell is wrong with me? As soon as I started heading out of the city, I felt better. Just
Yeah,
like
but
that.
you were probably tapping into what's coming, right? I really believe the only place we have time is really here.
2
right?
weeks later, it was 9/11. 2 weeks later.
Yeah,
you
but
know.
where I'm going with this is, if you were tapping in, and I know you're intuitive, there was a lot of pain. That was horrible what happened. And
Devastation,
be able
yeah.
to tap into that, and you did, I think.
I lost 3 friends, but I mean, ultimately, I feel like that wave. So, like when it comes to time, I don't think time is that consistent with what people think it is. I think that time will relapse, and I think that we can get those premonitions. We can feel what's come. So it's kind of like maybe something like that, and it's just would really hit me hard. But the 3,000-foot thing, I don't know. I don't want to panic anybody who lives under 3,000.
Well, I have heard also
Most of the country.
300 miles in from any significant body of water, you'd be okay with any incoming
Well,
disaster.
Heidi's at Mile High, 5,280.
Fine.
So let's all move to Colorado and
unless the super volcano goes out,
there can be earthquakes,
and then
in
the whole
Colorado.
thing is gone.
Cascadia subduction zone
Gone.
that is supposed to, it's overdue, right?
If Yellowstone
that
goes,
super volcano
the
blows
United
out
States
west.
is
It's gone.
and the center will
Everything
be
is
an ocean.
gone. So yeah, New York.
That's
man.
actually what they're worried about the most, is that the caldera goes.
Yeah,
and
man.
It doesn't really matter if it does. The United States is going in one blast, so we don't have nothing to worry about. Most of Canada and Mexico is going along with it. Europe and China and Russia is instantly buried under 15, 20 feet of shit. So pretty much the northern hemisphere is shot to hell and back.
Yep.
All
I'll
that
be down
pollution,
there
all
in
that
New
stuff's going to
Orleans,
get in the
man.
oceans. Yeah, we'll be gone. We'll slosh right off the planet as soon as it starts shaking.
Yeah, but look what you went through with Katrina, Joe, and you've talked about that many times, right?
Oh, I'm a natural survivor, so I'm like a cockroach. I'll survive it, but because I'll probably be somewhere I shouldn't be. But the thing about it is I'm not really worried about anything. I don't know how to explain it, but I don't feel like there's something that's going to pertain to us per se. Like if you live in Canada, you might get bombed. You live in the United States, probably not so much. You live in Australia, you might get bombed. But probably not the United States. Because the problem with bombing the United States is we have 5,000 nukes. We're going to bomb your ass
The
back.
problem with bombing Canada is they're like next door neighbors. So
But we might still not use a nuke. We may use force.
Yeah.
Well, let's say there was an evil entity that released a biological agent, such as COVID-19. Then now they got to see how it spread, how fast it spread, where it spread, how effective it was as a weapon, as even like as a test run for something that is much more powerful, because COVID-19 had a 14% case fatality rate. Imagine if something was a 90% or 95%.
Yeah, but that's not going to help.
They know the prevailing winds. They know how it goes and how it travels. They
Mike,
see.
you're not thinking in the real.
No, you're seeing how people reacted. There's a lot of information in there, man. If there was
that's
an
not the
evil
point.
entity,
You can't live with only 10. Okay, let me put it this way: the rich and powerful cannot live with just 10% of the population. They can't survive because they would be the 10% of the population. And for that 10% to survive, you're going to need another 40 or 50.
They just need a handful of servants at that rate.
Each.
Yes.
Yeah. So plus, you got to have people who manufacture, the people who do this. They're not going to give up their yachts. They're going to need the people who manufacture. It's not that easy. You can't just wipe out, that many people and still have a functional society. It just doesn't work that way. You can, unless you want to go back to like the days of the dinosaurs or the days of the kings.
I'm saying that they had a successful run of a biological weapon, and then a lot was learned from that. And if you don't know the Chinese,
I wouldn't call it successful.
If you don't know the Chinese, I think most people got it, so it's pretty successful. If you don't know the Chinese, you got to understand the mentality behind that.
They weren't testing it as a tactical weapon. They were testing our response to an epidemic. They were testing our social services, police forces, emergency forces, and then like those alphabet soup groups who made the vaccines and whatnot. That's what they were testing. They wanted to see how fast.
We did a great job, aside from the people arguing about masks and whatever, But I mean, but we did a great job in the response. You gotta love. I mean, the CDC not so much, but I think the individual health departments of every state, especially New York State DOH, did a great job. So I mean, and also there was a lot not knowing, not understanding, until the information was coming in. So even the spread, that people went over above beyond like the surface contact really, but in like we learned that maybe 1 in 10,000 people could get COVID from a surface contact. It was more about airborne, being in the air, being around someone, even wearing a mask. It didn't matter much.
I didn't get it from that. Miss,
if you're within 6 feet of somebody for 15 minutes, we considered you being exposed. You know what I mean? And then mask or not or whatever is
Has
great.
anybody seen in the news that it's been announced by the U.S. government about COVID? Yeah, that came out today. I don't know.
What did they say?
They're calling out the people that were responsible for this.
Oh yeah, they're gonna do that for a while. But Biden gave so many people pardons. I don't know how that's going.
Yeah, then maybe too late. We may not be able to prosecute some of them.
Yeah,
Fauci. You haven't heard Fauci's name lately.
Yeah, but Fauci, you're not going to prosecute Fauci.
Yeah, he got pardoned though, didn't he?
Yeah, he got pardoned.
I just said he was pardoned.
Yeah, he's not getting prosecuted. He might.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Joe.
Now, what you might do is prosecute the people around him.
Yeah, Fauci's not going to get prosecuted. He's going to get that other word, assassinated, probably.
No, he's too old. They're going to leave him alone. They're not really worried about him.
The government's not going to kill him. Somebody else will.
Maybe so, but I mean, he's useless. He can't. He's really harmless now. There's not much he can do. He can't really work with China anymore. So, this government's not going to let him do anything. And even the Obama administration kind of, the Biden administration, even want to kind of just stay away from him. So, the guys there was a lot of bad advice given. So,
Michelle, actually, I sent you the wrong one, Jay. I'm going to send you the other one. It's right front.
Okay. But we're all still alive, aren't we? It amazes me, more people died in America than India or China. Isn't that amazing?
The CDC is not in charge. The CDC is not in charge of the health department. It was actually Renfield who was in charge of the health department at the time. CDC can advise, but the health department makes those decisions. Most powerful agency in the United States actually are the health departments. They got the power to shut you down without warrants or anything. But either way, I think a lot was learned on the path. Trump had a little stumble in the beginning, but I think he ultimately performed well. It was an unprecedented event. So a lot was learned. He had his vice president there as the czar, which was a huge mistake because he didn't know anything about health or health systems or it was more about getting support to the hospitals, breathing machines. You remember all that was going on. You got with any virus, you got to isolate it and you got to treat the symptoms. So the quarantine, the isolations came, the treating the symptoms came. That a lot of people had different methods for things they were doing, and a lot of research came out of it. But a lot of people died. You know what I mean? A lot of people died. I think everybody knows somebody who died of COVID.
True, but I think we can also remember that you brought up about the people with money and power, that fear controls people, right? We can only think, we can't think when we're in a state of fear. And the one thing I think it did do, it didn't wake everybody up, but it woke a lot of people up. A lot of people are starting to ask questions, make different choices. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I didn't say it was a good thing what we went through, but I think it certainly caused a lot more people to ask why.
I think people beating each other up over masks was stupid. And I think people fighting with their families politically over COVID, they didn't even know what the hell they were talking about. They didn't even know what the hell. They were listening to the news. They didn't know what they were talking about.
I think people were just trying to cope is what they were doing.
If you're in the field, you knew what you were talking about.
If I can go back to the retail aspect of it, and Sean may also agree with this, we were on the front lines of things. We were deemed necessary. I was a hardware store. We were deemed a necessary business during the COVID thing. So we were always at work. And, we would ask a customer, and we would stand 6-8 feet away from them and say, "Can I help you?" And immediately they would get right in your face, pull their mask down and go, and like Daffy Duck, I'm looking for, and you're like, no, I can hear you from 600 feet away,
right.
stand over there.
Rory, he's right. He's correct.
But worse than that, the store that I worked in is in Maryland, and the governor imposed martial law. He literally imposed martial law in the entire state of Maryland and said, you cannot go out unless you're going out for medical, a necessary job, walking your dog, or going to the store or the restaurant for food. That's the only 5 reasons you're allowed to go out. Every day we had people coming to our store. It got so bad we would station people at all 3 doors going into the store, and
I was so happy I was a contract. I got to go
going in.
outside.
And when we reached the limit, that's how many people were allowed into the store. Sorry, you have to wait here for however many minutes.
Yeah, but and I can speak for Ontario. Only essential businesses, only so many people. I remember going into one store, all the merchandise was all roped off. And I filmed it. You're only allowed to buy only what they deemed was essential, even if you had the money, right? Carry it in, like you couldn't.
We limited quantity of things, like one of each and whatnot. But the things that were essential were sold out. I mean, we were sold out of paper products, paper towels and toilet paper for 2 or 4 months. I worked in the electrical department. We were sold out of it's things that I never sold out of. We were sold out of for 8-9 months.
What were you going to say?
Pet stores were like in Thunder Bay, but the pet stores here wouldn't even let you go in the stores. They put their tables up, and you had to call in what you were getting for your pets, and then they would bring it to the table to meet you at the door.
And we have no vets now. All the vets, you had to drive 5 hours to a little company. It was really. I mean, I knew when I filmed it, there were so many beautiful people, and I just wanted to show what was going on. There were people from other countries messaging me, "What do you need? Can I send it?" Because we couldn't even buy cell phone chargers. They were sitting like you could just
baking soda. I couldn't find baking soda. So my friend that lives like an hour and a half bought baking soda for me because I couldn't get any in Guelph. My daughter has celiac, and we couldn't even get like the milk and stuff. It was like sold out everywhere. I was like having to beg online to get stuff like that my kid could eat.
So we learn from it and we move forward, but we can choose to live in fear, right? Or we can choose, and I'm not, again, trying to be all kumbaya and ignoring it. I think it's a choice, right? You educate yourself, you be prepared. We know, like if you say, and I can't disagree with you, Michael, that this could have been a practice thing. We've heard what Bill Gates has said before, that the next time we do it. So you prepare, right? You prepare the best that you can, because I think that knowledge is empowering. And
if people learn, I mean, I've seen government long enough to know that they don't learn from anything. Really,
we do. We have brains, right? And like, I love what you said about community and neighbors. Like my other house, like it was terrible. I think that whatever was going on in that house affected the whole neighborhood. Here, I couldn't ask for more beautiful people. You know what? Wow. You're like a family, but nobody minds anybody's business. You could be on your way, and if you're busy, nobody will bother you. But if you're out there and you're sitting there and they happen to walk by, or somebody needs something, you could knock on the door. Like, I love that. And again, I don't think I'm living with my head in the clouds. It's just I'm really being grateful and appreciative. And I think it's a good idea. Build your community around you.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's the
there
strength.
Were so many older people that live in the buildings down the street from me that had no one. So I sit on the porch all the time, but they really looked forward to walking by the house so they had somebody to talk to. And they would say, like, and some of them were from the States, so their family were in the States, and they weren't even able to connect with their family, that they were up here in Canada all alone.
So that's what I'm saying, right? Like we can move towards fear, or we can educate ourselves. We're never going to know all the answers, but we can learn from it. And like you say, I like what Mike said about building a community around you as best as you can. Now, not everybody's going to play nice, right? We're all in a sandbox here. And the thing is, so you do the best.
Get the hell out of my sandbox thing.
We're in your sandbox, right?
The cities will be the most dangerous places. Because you have a lot of people that aren't going to want to play nice at all, and then deprive anybody of 3 days worth of food, and they'll go on.
That is true, and I've talked about that on shows before. If you got someone to feed in your house, and especially it's a little one, what would you do if you didn't have food? So now that you know that, like, buy stuff. We talked about MREs. buy things that are non-perishables, have them here, right? And just
food runs out fast.
there.
It runs out fast. You'd be shocked how fast without access to a supermarket. I mean, and it's gone. It's gone. So it's hard. And it's hard to plan for years in advance, or even months. And some people don't have the money for that, or even the space.
I recognize that. Yeah.
Oh,
We just got
Laura
hit with
Lee
such
and
a
Laura
gust of
Lee
wind.
and
My
Sean
whole
of the
house shook,
Oreos, huh?
and like the people it was scary. I thought we got hit with an earthquake. The house shook. So I ran away.
Now, Jay?
Just now, yeah, we're getting hit with like.
You sure it's not your baby mama? It's not your baby mama coming to check on the baby?
Someone, Lori.
We might lose power, so I apologize in
I'm
advance.
sorry, I wasn't making light of it. Sorry.
Yes. He's gonna get his feet rubbed later from the
That
aliens.
is scary. I'm sorry, it is scary. Did you find out what it was, though, Jay? Did you find out seriously?
It's just really extreme weather. I mean, but there's the rain's coming at like a really steep angle and really strong winds.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, my house.
Oh man, that's like a little rainer, man.
You got backup power system, man. What you got?
I do not have an UPS. I do not have an uninterrupted power supply.
I have a solar generator now.
Oh, so, cool. I don't have any.
Jerry, what were you going to say before we all rudely just walked and kept talking?
That's a good deal, man.
Well, it's also raining here, so solar wouldn't work.
Joe said, "What were you going to say, Carrie Lynn?"
Oh, we're on a whole other topic now. So
yes, it moves along.
COVID and everything else. So it was measles. Like everywhere you look, everyone's talking about the measles outbreaks right now too, right? So that's the whole other.
It was bad in Texas, and then all of a sudden it went away. It was very weird. It was. I mean, it was a serious outbreak, and then it just kind of.
It's the most infectious
disease. Which one is the measles? Is that the one with the little pips on your face?
Yeah.
No, you get them everywhere, man. Measles are everywhere.
Disease. Believe it or not, if you get the measles, your body, there's good things that happen to your body too, but you don't want the measles.
Oh, I got the measles when I was.
I think we all had it. My brother, my sister, everyone. All of you.
I know I had it when I was a kid, and I had measles, mumps, all kinds of shit.
Me too, Joe. You don't want it when you're the first 3 months of pregnancy. You would not want it,
and you really don't want to get it when you get older. But it's one of the things. No, real quick, so I know we're running out of time. So 3 new planets, but they think there's life on all 3 of them. Just because of the gases and different things they've been finding. One of them, they found one that definitely they know for a fact there's some type of microbes alive because they found it in the atmosphere. So they know there's life there for sure of some kind. The other one, they found carbons and stuff only made by machinery. So they're pretty sure there's life there. And the other one, they found some other type of gas that suggests some type of carbon and something else that only is made by
well, we have one in our solar system, the planet Venus. 99% of most scientists agree that it's probably 90% got something living on it. It is comprised of what they call greenhouse gases, and those kind of greenhouse gases are the type that are expelled by biological processes.
So, Jay, did you believe, like back in the 50s, or any of you, that there was reports of Valiant Thor or a Venusian that landed here when they were coming out with the atomic bomb? Like
Thor was one sexy bastard, man.
But the 50s, though, there was a conclave in Las Vegas, and the one guy, I don't remember his name, but there were a lot of kooks in the industry back then, and the 50s were very bad for UFO research because Valiant Thor was kind of clandestine. I started my research probably in the 70s, 76, 77, 78, somewhere around there. And I didn't hear about Valiant Thor until probably late 90s, 96, maybe.
If the pictures I saw of him, I wouldn't kick him out of bed for eating crackers.
Yes. him and his consort was very cute.
Yeah, his lady friend was pretty cute. Yeah, definitely.
It's well, no, they're pretty sure there's life on Mars now because they've been finding methane and oxygen.
Pretty sure there's life on Venus.
So
it's Venus didn't come from the solar system because it rotates opposite all the other planets and moons in the solar system. And
it's looking like they're going to find life in several places in our solar system, but it looks like they're going to find real life outside of our solar system as well. I don't know, peeps. We might get to actually see something here.
And Elon Musk is responsible for populating it, I think.
He will be for populating Mars. You can bet your ass on that. He's going to bring at least 20 kids to Mars, man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Everybody's going to be a descendant of Elon. Oh, I got some Elon Musk. I got some of his blood. Yeah, I got some of his blood. Really? I got some of his blood. Yeah, you're not allowed on the damn planet.
It's my co-host.
Yeah, so sweet.
Yeah, wait till she bites you. She's a biter. She's also a pooter too. She has this amazing ability to make the dog's eyes water.
Oh my god!
Poor dog. Poor baby dog.
Oh my god!
No, seriously, you pick her up and she'll toot, and it's like you think the dog did it, but it's her, and the dog's like,
poor baby.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my god! I can't stop laughing.
I'm not making that up. You come and visit. She will do this. She will pick her up and poop.
You know what the weird thing is? I don't know. Animals really, it's weird. They come up to me always. Like even wilder ones will come. Or
your energy, Lori, it's your energy. That's why they come up.
You know, I used to think that was cute when I was a kid. Dogs and kids and all my friends' kids want to hang out, all their pets. Now I'm older. That's a pain in the ass.
I know Carrie Lynn has to have energy like that. Like I will be out even when we were wearing masks and babies. You think they'd be scared? Like and I love it. I'm not complaining. I love it. But
okay, her full name is Blackmore the Third. This is the third cat I've had like this. So Blackmore 3. Stinky ass, always underfoot. That's her real name. That's her full name.
Oh my god!
I knew it was the first part, but I don't think I heard the last part last night.
So there were two before her. The first Blackmore was Blackmore. Was it lazy ass or something? Lazy ass, always underfoot. And then the second one, who ran everywhere. She runs everywhere too. But the second one was Blackmore 2. Tear ass, always underfoot.
Tear.
Oh yeah, the first one was slack ass. She was so lazy.
Oh
she
my
was slack ass,
God.
always
Oh Lord!
My pets are just named after Batman.
underfoot.
Works for me. I can go with that one.
Naming of cats is no idle task. It's a 3 or 4 day, or at least 3 or 4 week task with me. I have to know the cat.
That is a long ass name, Z.
Yeah.
It sure is.
Yeah.
That's why I just call her Blackmore. Well, we also call her Poof Poof. Her brother, he makes stinky poops, so we call him Poop Poop.
What are you
She's Poop
feeding
Poop.
them? Somebody asked that. You have what are you feeding?
Just regular, just store-bought cat foods, you know.
Wow.
I think they need a raw diet.
Yes.
I think they have the X gene. They're going to be the next, dominant species on the planet. So
You never know.
them and dogs.
You never even got into Lyrians and things like that and aliens. You never know.
Yeah.
Cat people, dog people. Mm-hmm.
They're
Joey,
out there.
he hasn't pulled in his little babies lately. Usually they make an appearance.
Ooh, the Chihuahuas. Oh no, they're all high on caviar.
Oh, caviar, yes. The Chihuahuas. You and Michelle, you guys have these cute little.
Oh yeah, well she's around. There's always one of them around.
Are they still passed out from the caviar?
Oh no! This one's in my lap. She's like, no.
Okay. I'd have figured
Fat ass, little fat ass. Ass is fucking in here, but little fat ass is in here.
Oh, they're so cute.
Yeah. I had somebody send me cash money. I was like, wow.
And I know you said absolutely not. There is no way I could keep that.
No. I knew it was coming. I was just surprised they sent cash. I said, you can use a check, right? I said, you ever heard anything called Cash App? You can just send it to me that way if you like.
Yeah, really?
Oh, I can't use that internet stuff. I'm like, okay.
There's a lot of people that won't. In
Cat,
our
what you gonna do?
My mom still won't.
See, mom wants to get ski cat.
we're gonna have a screen war now between the Chihuahua and the black cat.
Yeah,
it's Fiona.
The problem with this is she's going to be like 20 pounds eventually when she gets full adult size.
This one is 20 pounds, I think.
That dog is
it's
like
big Chihuahua.
Look at that face. She's like, yes, my daddy.
She's just a baby. She's only a year old.
Wow.
Right.
All right.
But she has a bell, so we know where she is in the house at all times.
She's
the black one, we got to keep going to dark clothes on her because fuck.
Yeah.
She can't see her at night, and
He's
she's
not
fast.
Kevin. I've only heard. I forget what I feel terrible saying the little black one's name because you usually just call her by her nickname. I've heard you call her. What's her muggle name?
Lola.
Lola. That's it.
Princess
Lola.
Fiona. This is the princess from Fiona. She's from Shrek.
I don't know if you could see her face, Joe, but she's literally like I'm on my daddy's lap.
Oh,
It's for sure.
She is believe rotten, unbelievable. Can't get no more spoiled. They sleep sideways in the bed.
That's
you think
okay.
She's the princess.
They're Velcro dogs. Like Nora's
She'll
Velcro.
stay here.
I have a Velcro dog too, a German Shepherd. You guys have seen her. She hopped up last night. She thinks she's a lap dog and she's ginormous. And she has to be attached to me in some way, no matter where in the house. And Nora, yours are like that too.
Yeah. Kid Laura cat. Kid Laura. Kid.
Yeah,
cat. You want to mess with Bob? No, she don't like Bob. She'll get to growling at Bob.
Hey, Joe, maybe we should do a weekly hourly show with just our pets' faces and we talk with our.
Well, Laura, Lola's probably more famous than I am. I'm Goofy over here with stealing brownies and shit.
I know that video went viral on TikTok. It was so funny. On
that
Josie
little fluffy kitty's only a year old and she's already got 5 million viewers.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Just from being on here.
From being on here. Yeah.
Looking at her.
I just shared my dog today because I was talking to you guys about Mother Nature's joke about a snowstorm. And it came up in my Facebook memories when I took a quick break. And she's running around with the zoomies. I have a small backyard and she's throwing toys, like just the most joy you could ever see, like so thrilled. She probably knew she's never going to see the snow for a couple months. And I wasn't happy that it's gone. I mean, I'm happy it was gone, but that was the last snowstorm.
That's cool, Heidi. My
that
mom
would be so much fun.
My mom got this award-winning cat my dad got for her. What happened was we were in Florida and I was only like 2 or 3, but I remember the cat we had was named Kitty King. He was an orange tabby, and little binkies that they would give you as a kid. The cat would steal those out of my crib and eat the rubber off of them. And so I had all these sucker binkies with no suckers on them. And so anyway, that cat got run over by a car and passed away. So to get one for my mom and my dad, we found out his whole life was deadly allergic to cats, but we always had cats in the house because my mom loved them. So he got her this award-winning, blue ribbon-winning Persian cat called Omar, and he was very big and white and gray and fluffy like her. And we have a velvet painting, but the velvet painting is like done in like the kind of perspective where no matter where you stand in the room.
Oh, the cat looks like it's looking at you.
The cat is always looking at you. It is the coolest painting I have, and it is the cat that I remember from when I was like 5 and 6 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It is very cool.
Cat wants you.
I think that's so funny.
It's the Uncle Sam thing. This cat wants you. It follows you through the room.
I'm allergic to cats, okay? I can't have one.
How about dogs, though? Dogs?
Oh, are you? If you're really allergic to them, just go get you a Himalayan seal point. You won't be allergic to them.
Yeah, my dad.
They don't give off cat dander.
Allergic to cats his whole life. We had cats in our house the whole time. But when I lived with him and I had Blackmore too, he said he liked that cat the best because her hair and dander was so long and thick, it didn't bother him. It didn't. When she sat in his lap, his allergies didn't go off.
My allergist, because my boys were allergic to cats, and he was of the belief that if you bring one into your home and you live with it, your immune system actually starts to habituate to it. So he said he never ever, he would work with his patients so they wouldn't have to rehome their pets. And I know I found it because I can't get cat hair in my eyes or anything, but I have found I've become way less allergic, obviously having my own. I'm not giving medical advice, just what was shared with me.
No, it was funny because when Linda moved in, I had a couple of cats in the house and they were hairy. Mm-hmm. She was allergic to them, and then I gave them to a friend of mine, and my aunt called me up. She had she bred Himalayans. She said, I got this beautiful Himalayan seal point. She said, I want to give him to you. And I said, I don't know. Linda said, no, she won't be allergic. Sure enough, she wasn't. So I asked the doctor. He said it's a whole different. It's a whole different kind too. So he said no, she won't be allergic to them. I was like, well, that was interesting.
We have red balls.
Like when I was married, me and my wife had a friend, and she had 2 cats, and she would actually give them a bath in egg. Have you ever heard of that?
In eggs?
An egg wash, like type of shampoo.
No, I've only heard like tomato wash, like when the dog gets, sprayed by a skunk and that kind of stuff.
I had a lilac Himalayan. I loved that cat. It was, but the only thing it would eat was cat food. The cat food it had been come with it from the breeder, and it didn't matter if it was meat, anything that cats would eat. It would not eat a treat. It wouldn't eat anything. But it was the sweetest cat, I have to say.
We have 4 cats and a dog, and so we have dog food and cat food in the house. So this past week, the cats kept coming into the kitchen while Diane was in there and looking at her real funny. She's like, "What? Finally, she realized when she filled the food, she put cat food in the dog bowl, the dog food in the cat bowls, and they're all like, "What's this? What are we supposed to do with this?" I mean, the kibble's like as big as the kitten's head. They're trying to gnaw on these big. It's funny.
Michael needs to get his show on. To be honest with you.
Yeah, we're gonna let him start at 9:30.
Sorry, Michael.
I'm just sitting there listening to you guys talk about fucking cats for the last 15 minutes. For 15 minutes.
Remember at one
you
time
have a cat?
Yeah, but I got a show coming up. I'm not going to talk about cats, man.
Screw the cat. I got a show coming up.
Yeah, fuck that cat.
Shut up about the
fuck
cat.
that cat.
About your cat some other time.
Anyway, we're gonna ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna get out of here. I know we go to 9:30 a lot of times, but we're gonna get out of here like Michael gets started. He got God knows what he's gonna talk about tonight. And whoever wrote me that email a minute ago,
dogs
don't get him unless you like big cats. On that note, we gotta go. Remember, any moans, groans, bitches, or complaints, please write to Michelle DeRoche, courtesy of Michelle DeRoche. Tell her Michael sent you, and be sure to tell her Michael sent you. So,
and everyone who writes in, they get their names written down, and she puts them in a coffin box. So that's something you can look forward to.
Be careful, is all I can tell you. I'm serious. If you get any moans, groans, bitches, and complaints, write to Michelle DeRoche. I'm not going to give you an email because you're too stupid to figure it out. You don't need to know what it is anyway. So we're not going to worry about it.
Thank you.
No, y'all, you're welcome. Anytime, that's what the show is for. Anybody who wants to come.
Gary, thank you for coming on.
I'm glad you came on too.
It's here to boost ratings, is what it is. Gary, nice seeing you. Everybody else, see y'all soon. Good night, everybody. Stay tuned to. Oh my God, Michael Angley. I was going to say nobody, but Michael Angley comes up next.
Have a great show, Michael.
Thanks.
Have a good night. Yeah, Mike.
Whoever asked is called the chat.
Bye. Bye. Bye.